Yo, what is good, everyone? So I'm back with another React website video. Now I spent a lot of time designing this particular website, and let me just show you what we're going to be making today. All right, so first of all, we got the auto looping video in the background with the green cool little text. I don't even know what those things say, to be honest, but then we got the text in the center. We got some button action, and then we hover, got a little icon change effect right there. And then our typical nav, but this site is not the same as the previous videos I made. This one actually has smooth scroll. So let me just show you that in action. And it might lag because I'm recording, but let's just see what happens. So I'll click on abouts, boom, scrolls right into place. And got a little hover, green hover action. And also got a little SVG. And then also if I were to go to the second option, boom, we got it scrolling down there. And then we got our little services cards, and I can actually hover action over here. And these are just like SVG icons in there. And then I'll go to my sign up, and then we can see that we have it like this. And then also we got our footer here. And then also check this out. I click back on the home. I just call this one dollar because I mean, it's like money, finance type looking sites. And you click it and you can see that it goes back up. And you can notice that when I scroll to, I'm not clicking anything. It highlights it right when it hits essentially the top of this div. You can't really see because this one's dark, but like right here, once it gets the nav, boom, it hits it, boom, it changes like this, and then you can see rinse and repeat. Even if we click on the footer, the action right there, even this button right there, you got some smooth scroll, and I put this one back like that, and we can smooth scroll all day long. But not just smooth scroll, we're also going to use React Router. So you're like, hey, what if I want to link to another page? Well, I got you. Here's sign up. This is just a button I made here. And then links to a sign up form. So this is just like a filler design I have just to show you what a separate page could be. But again, this could just be anything. I just have that here because I mean, why not? And then if I want to go back to the home, links back to it. And then I can see we are back on our actual website. And one thing I forgot to show you, it is also completely responsive. So let me just shrink it over here. And we got a little sidebar action too. Let me just show you that really quick. So you can see you got a little sidebar action. I'll scroll down really quick, show you the mobile responsive look first, and then I'll show you this little sidebar action. And then I will go back to the top. I just have to scroll it. And then let's click on this. A new sidebar comes out. I click on the about, scrolls to it. And then you guys can guess it does the exact same thing for all the other menu items we have here as well. And then also if I want to link to the next page, it goes to the sign up page, then brings me back. And just in case, I'll inspect this for you to show you even smaller screens because I think my laptop only does like 500 or something. But we got like the Moto G, you can see here. I can scroll through it and you can see it looks like this. And then also sidebar action. And we got the iPhone 5 SEers out there. See it like that. And let's go to like Galaxy Fold, which is like super skinny. Like look at that, 280 pixels. And we can still see that everything's working fine and still looks nice and clean. And then one last thing I forgot that you can't even really tell, but if you didn't notice, right now you see the nav bar is black, like it's dark. It's like essentially there's a color behind it. So essentially if I go back to the top, if you look closely, you can see that now it's transparent. It's really hard to tell, but basically on scroll, it's hard to see it, but like you can see now the text gets covered. It changes on scroll as well. So I'm gonna show you how I made all of this in this website. And if you guys wanna learn how I made it, then be sure to watch this video all the way to the very end. And also I did decide to leave this tutorial up for free on YouTube. But if you guys wanna help support the channel so I continue making free videos like this, I decided to put a small fee on the source code, which I'll link in my new website that I created with Gatsby in the description below. You guys can check it out. So if you want to support your boy, go ahead and you can go ahead and get the source code there. But if not, you can feel free to just watch the tutorial. I'll show everything in here step by step. So without further ado, let's hop into VS Code and let's get started coding. All right, so here I am on my terminal. So go ahead and open up your terminal and then feel free to go to wherever you're locating your projects in. I already have mine here. So I'm gonna go ahead and type in npx space, and then let's do create dash react dash app, and then space, and then this is simply the next word is the name of the application. So for this, I'm just call this one React website. Let's do smooth scroll, and I put YT for YouTube. You can leave that off, but that's just so I know exactly where my folders are in my files. So I'm gonna go ahead and press enter, and then once this decides to finish up, I will see you on the other side. All right, so now that is finished, so I'm gonna go ahead and CD and then just type in the name of my file. So I named this one react-website-smooth-scroll-yt. And now before I do the yarn start, if you don't have yarn, it's probably gonna say npm start. So before I actually do that, I'm gonna type in code dot. And this only works, at least to my knowledge, with VS Code. And you have to set this up if you haven't done this. But basically, say code space dot. And then when I press enter, this is automatically going to open up VS Code for me. Now, if you don't have this set up, just do a quick Google search and it shows you exactly how to set this up fairly quickly. And if you can't get that to work, just simply open up your VS Code in the actual file we just created. So here I am on VS Code. So let me just go ahead and rearrange my screens really quickly. All right, so now I just fixed up my screens a little bit. So right here, we're in VS Code now, or whatever code editor you're using, and I'm gonna go ahead and do Command J, and that's gonna open up my terminal. If not, you guys can go up to the top of your screen, like right in this section, just click on your terminal, open that up too, and then let me just drag this up a little bit. And now I'm gonna go ahead and simply type in yarn start. Now, if you do not have yarn, you're gonna type in npm start, but mine, I have yarn, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say yarn space starts, press enter, and if I predicted, I have this error that shows up every single time. So I'm just gonna copy this little skip equals true line right there. And then on the root, so right here, right click and just click on new file. And then you just have to type in .env. Now no, if this doesn't pop up for you, then you can just ignore this. But in case it does, you can go ahead and save this here. And now I can just go ahead and type in yarn start, then press enter, and this should load up perfectly. So let me just close this out, and now you can see on the right side it is loading, and it shows the beautiful React logo spinning right there. So let's go ahead and let me just close this file out, and let's go to src, and let's just start deleting some project files here. So first, let me get rid of setup test, setup service worker and logo. So I'm gonna click on the bottom, hold shift and click on logo so I can get rid of all three at one time. It highlights it and just delete this, move to the trash, and then index.css, I don't need this one, and app.test, I don't need it for this project, move to trash. Index.js, we can get rid of this bottom text here. Service worker, index.css, let's save it here. In the app.js, let's see, we got the logo, get rid of this, save it here, and then let's go, let's see, logo is not defined, so let's just get rid of all of this and just be like, what's up? All right, see, perfect. All right, and then the app.css, let me just say Command A, get rid of all of this, and pretty much, let's see, what should we add here for now? For now, let's just do a little asterisk symbol. We're not gonna really do anything in here because we're gonna be using style components for literally the entire project, but just for this section, I'm just gonna put box sizing, border box, and then let's just do margin 0 and padding 0. And let's just put the font family for now, so we don't have to go back, but we have to actually install this with Google Fonts later. But let's just do font family, and I'm just gonna use encode sans expanded, and then just comma sans dash serif. Alright, so nothing crazy, and I don't think that's the default font, but yeah, let's keep it like this for now, and then exit off here. And now let's go ahead and let's get started creating our actual file. So first things first, let's create a components folder. So I'm gonna go to src, click on new folder, and let's see, let's do components, and let's see, let's do an images folder, a pages, and video while we're here. And then after that, we can go inside of them. So let's do right click on the src, click on new folder, and let's create images. And I'm going to show you guys everywhere how I got all the images and also the video too. And then right click src again, new folder, and let's see what we got, pages. And then let's do right click again. If I can click. And we got, let's see, we got video. So technically it's a video, but you get the point. All right, so now let's start messing with the actual components folder first. All right, so first things first, let me right click this. Let's do new folder here. And let's just build out the entire project for right now. So let's do folder and just press enter. And that's a folder in itself. And then let's go ahead and actually let me do this step by step. I don't want to confuse you guys. So let me delete the footer. I'll do this component by component so that you guys don't go crazy. So let me just right click, delete footer, folder, and let's just do components, new folder. And let's just start off with the navbar, all right? We go to top of the actual thing. So again, this is inside of the components folder. And now in the navbar, we're gonna create a new file. And this one's gonna call it index.js. And this is where we're gonna store all of our JSX, and you can see all of our actual content. And then right click navbar again, and then type, or you name this, I named this one navbar elements.js. And essentially this is where we're gonna store our stock components. And in the index.js, pretty much we can start writing out our code. So let me show you this extension. Go to this little icon right here, extensions. Type in ES7 and make sure you have this installed. If you don't, life's gonna be really annoying because I'm gonna type super quickly when you have to actually don't need to if you have this extension. So let me just show you. Now, let me try to get rid of this. Close this out 1 second. And in order for me to close this like in and out, that's Command B on my keyboard. So I'm gonna actually leave it up right now so you guys can see. But pretty much here I am in the index.js of the navbar. I'm gonna do RAFCE, press enter, and boom, you see that it made the import animated arrow function. And all I need to do now is just change this to, just start typing navbar, and I'll just hit, let's see, let's put in here, just put nav for now, save, and nothing is popping up because we haven't actually added anywhere. So let's go ahead and just test this really quick. Let me go to app.js and let me get rid of this class. I don't need this. And instead of what's up, let's just straight up pass in the nav bar component. And a cooler trick is you press enter, it'll auto import for you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't really know why. But then you can also do control space and then press enter, and it also does it too. So again, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, just manually type in import navbar from /components/navbar. And notice that it doesn't do /index.js because it's looking for that file. So if you were to name this anything besides index.js, it would have to add like another /nav something, whatever. So that's why I have it named this, so that it only has to do components / the folder. And then we just put the little slash, close, save it. Boom. All right, cool. So everything is working fine. Imports are looking good. And we're gonna end up deleting this, so it won't even matter. But for now, let's go back to our navbar. Let's just start styling this bad boy. All right, so let's see what we got. I'm gonna go ahead and let's get rid of these divs. And now we just have our empty return. And what I wanna do is actually put fragments because I don't wanna have a bunch of divs in here. So I'm just gonna say little fragments instead. And now I'm gonna go ahead and this is how I'm gonna do it, because if with stock components it's really hard to just write out all the JSX and all the content because you won't be able to see it. So what I'm gonna do is actually do it essentially 1 to 3, maybe 1 to 5 components at a time, or stock components, and then I'll go back and edit it. So pretty much, if you haven't used stock components before, it's basically CSS, kind of like Sass, except you can pass in properties. And essentially, I'll just show you once we start editing. But first, what I'm going to do is call this nav. So I'm just going to say closing bracket or opening, whatever you want to say, nav, and then close it out. And then in here, I'm going to have our navbar container. And for stock components, I've seen multiple ways to name them. Again, it's really preference. Unless you have people that you're working with that have a particular way of doing it, then at the end of the day, I mean, if you understand your code and other people can, then I think that was what always makes sense. But here I'm just going to call this one my navbar container. And then let's just close this out here. And let me Command B so you can see more of the actual code. And then here, let's see, we got nav logo. So I'm gonna say nav logo. And then this one is actually going to be a link. So let me add all this stuff afterwards. But pretty much here, I'm gonna just say $. All right, so let me just save this really quick and start editing the actual stock components so you can see what the heck is going on. All right, so now here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to our Navbar elements now. And the first thing we need to do is do import styled styled from styled st, can I not spell today, components. All right, so now after do this, Command B, now I'm going to say export const, because we have to say export since we have a different file. If you were to do this directly in the index above the function, you could just straight up say const nav and then your styles, but we got to export it because it is in another file here. So I'm gonna say export const and nav, that's the thing I named it. And then you say equal style dot, and then this is where you, let me close this up. This is where you actually put what actual tag you want. So I wanted this to be a nav tag, and then I'm gonna put the backticks. So you do 2 backticks. This is how they do in stock components. And then pretty much you write all your properties here, just like typical CSS. So first thing is, let's go ahead and let me put the background, but let me just go back to it and eventually. So let me just put background. Let's just put black for now. And then here, let's do a height of 80 pixels. I want the nav to be 80 pixels tall. I'm gonna set a margin dash top of -80 pixels because I don't know why I made that, because that's when you'll see when we have the video background. Plus also when we start adding the React scroll, I'm having offset of -80, so it just ends up balancing out. And if you're confused what do those words mean, you'll see once we get to that point. And then let's do display flex, and then I'm gonna make this justify content. Let's see, center. Let's do a line items center. Font size will be 1 rem. Position is gonna be sticky. Top will be 0, and then z index will be 10. Now, cool little trick is actually the way you can write media queries. So since we're already here, might as well just add one. Instead of, it's kind of like Sass, but basically you just write it nested inside of it. So I just have to say at media screen and parentheses max width. I'm gonna set 960 pixels, and then I can just say transition. Let's do 0.8 s all ease. So that's essentially the nav will trigger on this screen size, this transition here. So that's basically media queries for that. And then what else did we have? We had the Navbar container, which again, we created this one here. So we have 2 more, and then we can go ahead and save it and see what it looks like. So now let's do export const Navbar container. I'm gonna set that equal to style.div backticks, 2 of them. And pretty much we'll just do display flex. So typical CSS. And let's do justify content space between. And then let's do a height of 80 pixels. Z index of 1. And let's make a width of 100%. And let's do padding. Let's do 0.24 pixels. And then I want the max width to span only 1100 pixels. All right, like this. And then let's do the logo. Now this one's interesting. All right, so this one essentially is a link from React Router, and we're actually going to be using both links from React Router and React Scroll. So in case you don't know what I'm talking about, essentially React Scroll links essentially a package we're going to install, but that only works for linking and scrolling on a particular one page here. But then with React Router, it links to actual different page. Like this is a different page. So if you use React Router, then you already know, but React Scroll, there's certain things that are really complicated to implement. So for this, we have to actually do, let's do export cons. This is nav logo, which we named it again, was what we named here for the dollar. You see that guy right there? And it's going to be a styled, and instead of being like a normal dot whatever, this is actually going to be the name of the link, literally. So it's parentheses, and I'm going to say link. Now I'm not just going to say link, I'm going to say link, and then I named this with a capital R for short for router, because eventually we're going to use both React Scroll and React Router. And I'm going to just show you really quick. So before I add the actual CSS stuff in here, normally when you import link, you just say import curly brace link from React Router DOM. Now the problem is for this stock components, we're going to have both links, except one of them is going to be imported from React Scroll. Now you can see how this is an issue, because you're like, what in the world? How does it know which one is which? So a cool little hack you can do is you can basically have an alias. So I can say link on React Router as, and then I put link R, short for React Router. You can literally say link router, whatever floats your boat, whatever makes it easier for you to understand. But I just say link R for that. And then short for link scroll, I just put link as link capital S for link scroll. Now we don't have scroll yet, so let me just go highlight this, command / to comment that out. So now you can see link as link R. And let me just go better app. I mean, it's still aired. And now this is going to know that it's a React Router link, and it'll navigate to a particular page. And then let's see. Let's go ahead and just say color hashtag FFF. And then also let's say justify self flex start, and then let's do cursor pointer. So I want the little mouse to show. Let's do font size 1.5 rem, display flex. Then we're going to align the items to the center, and then let's do a margin dash left of 24 pixels. Font weight is, let me see, font weight is bold, and then text decoration will be none. All right, so let me just save that there, and then let's go ahead and let's go back to the navbar. So again, this is the index.js, and pretty much right now it's going to say not working because we actually have to import these into our app. So in order to do that, we can just say import curly brace, and then the names of our stock components. This one's nav, and then let's see, we got navbar container, and then we got nav logo. And where are we importing this from? We are importing this from the /, which is in the same directory, and then we say navbar elements. Save it, and then it is going to say stock components is not found, because guess what? We did not install that. So I'm going to say open up my terminal, so command J, and let's do command C. And if you don't have yarn, again, just do npm install whatever the package is. So this one's stock components, so I'm just gonna say yarn add. If you don't have yarn, just do npm install. And just in case, let me just bring this up really quick. And in case you are completely lost, you have no idea, still just go, I typed in stock components, here's the docs, you can do npm install stock components here. But I already have yarn, so I'm gonna do yarn add, and then I'm just gonna say style dash components, spell that right, let's see. And then once that decides to finish, shouldn't be too long, then we will have everything set up. So let me go back here now, and while that's loading, I have to bring my start up again. So if you don't have yarn, you just say npm start, but I'm gonna say yarn start because I got yarn. And let's see, once that loads, perfect. All right, we got the error, which is great because we do not have React Router, because again, we used a React Router link. So it's like, whoa, where is that coming from? So let's do command B. Now in order to fix this, what we need to do is go to our actual app.js file, And then I'm on app.js now, so on a navbar. And then what we need to do is, let me see, I'm going to import curly brace, and it's browser router as router. And then for now, let me just import that. And this is gonna be from React router DOM. Now, if you've never used React router, they have docs, so you can check it out too. But it's fairly simple for the basic things you're doing. It can get complex, but for now we're just gonna go with the simple. And before I do anything, let me do Command J, and then let's do Control C to stop yarn, or you can just click the plus sign. But now I'm gonna do is yarn add, and then let's see. Let me just bring up the docs so you can see it. All right, so here's the React docs, router docs. So again, if you have npm install, boom, there you go. I got yarn, so I'm gonna say yarn add. Actually, I want to highlight that. Yarn add, and then pretty much we're gonna say React dash router dash DOM. And then let's just do yarn start. So let me close this out. And the thing is, it's still going to give an error, but what we can do now is take out this div, and we can replace this with router. Save it, and this should work. So let's do Command-Shift-C, check out the console. And it's gonna say there's no to value, which is true. So right now it's saying there's no to because in the actual, let me go back. The index.js for navbar. Nav logo is supposed to be a React router link. And just like a tags with the href equals their link, like a equals, oh, not a, href equals whatever in the a tag, in React router you do to. So you say to, and let me just put slash for now, and let's just save it. Now that error goes away. And then if I were to put like let's see, just put h1 for now, save it, you can't see anything right now. And the reason is because the actual color of this, let's see, let me take this, this should be, where's it at? Let's make this red and then save it here. And I think, oh, I know why it's not showing. Let's do Command-Shift-C, and let's check out the, let's see, click on this. Let me see, did I even put in the yeah, the navbar is here. Close this back out. You're trying to spec, I can't even see the color. Oh yeah, I need to change it out of Galaxy Fold so it's easier. And let's do Command F and see $. Alright, so now it's showing here. Now the reason why you can't see it, I forgot to show you, is because if we go here, this has a margin top of -80. So now you can see. So let me remove that for now, and then we'll actually keep that back. All right, great. There we go. Just making sure everything perfect now. So now you can see the actual nav bar is sitting there. All right, so again, if you didn't see what I did, I just commented out the margin top -80. We won't need that right now. But let's go ahead and let's finish up this nav bar now. So let's go ahead and underneath this nav logo, we're gonna have to add in the mobile, aka the, let's see, I'm gonna show you these little icon guys right here, the bars. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna call this one mobile icon. So mobile camel casing, so capital I, icon like this. And then inside of here, we're gonna pass in the FA bars, so FA bars. And these are gonna be from React icons. So it's a closing, sub-closing tag. And then let's see, underneath this mobile icon, press enter. Let's do nav menu. So this is essentially our wrapper, or I guess you could say like the container for the actual menu items. And then I'm gonna have my nav, we're gonna call this nav item. And then in here would be essentially the nav links. So let's just do nav links. And then this we're gonna say 2 equals 2 quotes abouts. And instead of doing a slash, we're doing about because I'm gonna have another div in my other component sections that have essentially an ID with abouts. So that way it knows where to scroll on the actual page. So like here, I'm just gonna keep it mobile. About has this ID where it pretty much will scroll down to that section. So now I can pretty much, there's a bunch of other effects or properties, let's say, that are gonna be on here, but let's just keep this for now. And then in here is gonna say about, and then let me just save this. We're gonna run some errors on the main. And mobile, everything is undefined. So first thing, let's go ahead and go to Navbar elements. So again, over here, command B this, and then let's go ahead and let's add some styling here. So first thing is we got the mobile icons. Let's just say export const mobile icon equal to style.div with some backticks here. And pretty much I do not want this to be displayed on normal actual just desktop view. Only want it to be displayed at a particular breakpoint. So I'm gonna say at media, scroll up so you can see at media screen, and we have max width of 768 pixels. And then we're gonna have display to be block, position absolute, we'll have the top to be 0. Let's see, let's do right to be 0, and then transform will be translate, and inside of these parentheses will be minus 100%, comma 60%. This just centers it, and then let's do font size of 1.8 rem. Again, rem by default is 16 pixels. And then cursor pointer. And then underneath this one, we have the FA bars, but that is just a icon, so I don't have to worry about that one. And then let's do nav menu. So let's do export const nav menu equal to style dot, and this is again unordered list. So I'm gonna say backticks. Then I'm gonna say display. I want to flex these, so display flex here. Align items to be center. List style, I don't want it to have anything, so none. Text align will be center, and then margin dash right will be minus 22 pixels. Now the reason I did this is because I have that button on the right over here, and like it's like slightly off because there's like some outside padding and margin on this, so like I just did that so it makes it look more centered. Again, I mean, it's just a little preference, but you can play around with that. And then let's do some media queries. So let's do at media screen, and max width is what, 768 pixels. Yes, right there. And then I don't want this to display, so I'm gonna say display none. So we have the nav menu. What else we got? The nav item. This one's easy. Let's just say export const nav item equals to style.li with the backtick action going with, just have a height, make sure they're 80 pixels. So this is the same height of my nav bar. And then let's see, we got the links. So let's do export const nav links equals to styled. And now this one, this is going to be the React scroll link. So now I'm going to say parentheses, just like we did React Router, link, except now we're going to say link X, or S, my bad, with the backticks, because you remember from earlier, React Router, I named it link R. So up here, so now we can actually go up to the top and just command slash this to uncomment it. So now we have React scroll link as link S. So technically you could say link scroll, or I don't even scroll, scroll like that. Whatever is easy, I just put S because I mean, I can tell the difference there. And then inside here, let's just start adding. So I'm gonna make the color of them white. So hashtag FFF. Not that, what is that? Okay, let's see, display to be flex I'm going to do align items to be center, text decoration to be none, padding to be 0, 1 rem, and let's set a height of 100%, and then cursor to be pointer. And then this is actually an active class. I'm going to say and.active dash true. I'm going to say border dash bottom to be the 3 pixel solid hashtag 01BF71. So that just whenever it's scrolled or essentially highlighting whatever link you clicked on back on here. See how it's green? That's essentially what we just did with the little border action right there. So now let's go ahead and drag this back. So save that here. Let's go back to the index.js file. And then let's import these at the top first. So let's see, we got mobile icon. FA bar is not an actual stock component, it's just an icon. So I didn't have to import it there. Let's do nav menu, nav item, nav links. Now we're gonna have an error because the FA bars is going to be not defined. And the reason is because it's actually a React icon. So let's go ahead and we're just gonna go under React here at the top. I'm gonna say imports, curly brace, FA bars from, and that's gonna be React-icon/FA. And now let me actually bring up the doc so you can see this. So here I am on React icons. If you guys have been following me, you already know, but basically instead of having to import particular icon libraries or CDNs, you can just straight up get React icons and you have access to like a bunch. So if I were to say like bars, literally we got, look at all these bars right here. All right, so let me just open up my terminal again. And let me do Control-C, close it out. I'm just gonna say, let me just bring it back so you can see, in case you have NPM. You guys, my NPMers out here, you know what to do this line right here. But with yarn, we go yarn add React-icons, press enter. And then also you can see here on the right, like the usage. So essentially exactly what I did up here. Import the name of the icon in curly braces from React-icon / the first 2 letters of the icon. So there's gonna be other ones called like MD or AI, whatever. You just put / whatever that is. So let's do yarn start now. Let me go back to the site and let's see if everything is working properly. So let me just close this out. It should be because I installed everything. So let me see once this loads. Did I not save this? Yeah, I need to save that. Now let's refresh. And let's see, React scroll. Oh, yeah, I forgot that one. So again, React scroll was from the stock components we just had it here. So I'm back on the Navbar component index.js. Let me bring up React scroll. So here I am, React scroll. Got a pretty decent wiki downloads or weekly downloads here. Where is it at? Right there. All right, so this one's pretty simple too. Open up terminal, Control-C, close it out, and let's just say yarn add React-scroll. Now, if you don't have yarn, you would simply say npm. And let's hit enter, and that's gonna be done soon. So let me just close this out, and let's go back to our actual folder. And let me see, refresh. Actually forgot to put yarn start again. Let's do yarn start. So Command J, open a terminal. Yarn start there. Let's see. Looks like it's refreshing. So let's see if our actual bar is showing up. So right now it is not, because I believe we have to have the little toggle action going on. So that's technically, let's see. You see the about. Okay, so we got something there, but that's pretty much all we technically created right now was this about. I have to add some functions that will create later to essentially toggle the nav icons. You can see it, but for now, let's just keep it like this. And then let's see. Okay, actually, let's go to the elements again. I forgot to add a color. So we go to Navbar elements and go down to mobile icon right here. and then go under the cursor pointer and make sure you have the color. That's why it was invisible, because you can't see it. All right, so now we're good. We're good now with the actual little bar action going on here. So right now when we click it, nothing happens because we don't have the function created. But let's finish up this nav now and add the rest of the actual elements here. All right, so let's go ahead and create the rest of the nav links. So let me just show you. Right now we got about, which is not enough. So actually a simple trick we could do is just straight up copy this. So let's highlight the nav item with the nav links, Command C, press enter, and then now we have the discover. I think I put, let me see if I put my about discover. So let's put here discover to discover the ID, and then under nav item again, the second one, Command Victory V, paste that one. Now we have services and then signups. Let me do one more time, press enter, and then now we can edit these. So let's do in the about services to services, and then we got sign up, and then to, I just put sign up here. And then if I save this, let's go and check out. Cool. Okay, so we got a little nav links right there. And then underneath this nav menu, I'm gonna have our little button. So I'm gonna call this nav btn. So this is essentially the div wrapping the button. And then inside here is going to be the actual React router link. So let's just do nav btn link. So this 2 equals 2 quotes a slash, and then the path, essentially I'm going to say route here is signing or sign in. Then I'm just close this out, and then I'm just going to say sign in. And the save on here, Command S, is not going to work. Let's go to our navbar element. So again, here, let me get rid of that red first. Where did I put the red? On the nav logo, if you have red on there, then just erase it, because I don't want that. Let's close it here, and let's actually make it color hashtag or $FFF for now. But now let's go to the bottom, and let's start adding in our additional elements. So this one is basically, we have the nav btn link and then the nav btn. So let's do the nav btn first. So exports const nav btn. So they equal to styled dot, let's call this nav, and then backticks. And then inside of here, I'm going to say display flex, align items to the center. Then under here, I'm going to say add media, screen, and let's do max width 768 pixels. And I just want the display to be none. And then underneath here, let's do the nav btn link. So I'm going to say exports const nav btn link, so they equal to styled parentheses. Again, this one's going to be the link capital R for the React router link. Then I'm going to have the backticks. Then I'm going to have the border. I just put border radius of just 50. I just want to make sure it's rounded. And let me scroll. You can see under here, let's do background to be, let's see, hashtag 01B F71. Let's do white space. That was going to be no wrap. Let's do padding 10 pixels by 22 pixels. Color will be hashtag 010606. Let's do font size to be 16 pixels. Outline to be none. border is none, and then cursor pointer. And then I have transition, all 0.2s, ease dash in dash outs, and then text decoration to be none. And then underneath here, we're gonna have the hover, so and colon hover. Transition will be all 0.2s, ease in dash out. Background will be hashtag FFF, and then the color will be hashtag 010606. Save it, and then let's go back to our index.js. Let's import these at the top. So let's do nav btn, comma, and then nav btn link. Boom. Okay, so now we got our navbar. So it's in terms of like the design, the style, it's pretty much there. Then we just have to add a bunch of little details that essentially allow us to do a little clicking action and everything else. But in terms of the actual styling part, we're pretty much done there. So now let's go and actually start adding some state action. And let's see what I want to actually add on here. So let's actually keep that until the until we're done, because right now there's really actually, yeah, we can do the, let me see if we should do the toggle. Yeah, let me just keep that for now, because right now it's really hard to tell. So let's just do Command B. Let's do something easy so that you can visually see everything, and then from there we can start creating the actual div sections later. But let's create a sidebar now, because I want to add the little toggle effect on the navbar since we're here already. So let's do components, new folder, call this one sidebar. I mean sidebar, top bar, literally doesn't matter, but let's do new file inside the sidebar, index.js, and then new file, let's do sidebar elements.js. And that's just the way I'm naming. I've seen other people do like sidebar.elements.js. I mean, it's just a preference, but here let's go to index.js and let's do RAFCE, little hack, enter, and let's call this sidebar. Now here, let's go ahead and add in our style components. So let me click in here. Let me come in, you can see this. I'm gonna call this one the sidebar container. Now inside of the sidebar container, I want to have my icon. So I'm just gonna call this one icon. And then inside the icon, I'm gonna have a close icon with a self-closing tag. And let's start adding the styles now. So let's go to sidebar elements. And let's see what we got to add here. So first thing, let me go back to the top. We have to import styled, sty, from styled components. And then let's see what we got here. So also I'm going to use this icon, the time. So import curly brace FA times. And this essentially is the X symbol closing. And it's going to be from React icon / FA. Now I'm going to say export const sidebar container. You know, if I save this, yeah, we haven't imported this yet, so you really can't see anything, but export const sidebar container is equal to style.aside with the backticks. And basically I'm going to say position will be fixed. Z index is going to be 999 because I want it to be above everything. So no matter where I click, it's going to always be there. I'm going to have a width of 100%. What happened? Height of 100%. I don't know why it's doing that. And let's do background will be hashtag 0D0D0D. Let's do display grid. Align items center, top 0 left 0, transition 0.3s east dash in dash outs, and then let's add in some little properties on here. So right now let's just do opacity, and then let's see if I should put this. Yeah, I'll just do it for you now since we're here already. Basically, in stock components, you can do if else statements, essentially ternary operators within your stock component, so that it essentially will display true or false a different property. So the way you do it, you pretty much do $ curly brace, and then parenthesis curly brace, and then inside of here you say is open, and then after the first curly brace, then the parentheses, but before the last curly brace, you do an arrow function here, and then parentheses, and then whatever you just named. So I said is open, essentially stating if the sidebar is actually there or not. And then with the ternaries, you pretty much, it's the same as if else, but basically is open question mark. And what this means is if is open is true, meaning I clicked on the icon, then I want to display 100% where the positioning, essentially this is be 100% seeing it, like you basically can see it. And then you do a colon, so you say or else if is open is not true, I just want it to be 0, meaning it's invisible, aka you can't see it. And then also the top, this is the way I did the little drop down effect in case you're wondering. So right now you see here that part, that is what we're writing right now. So essentially it's like minus 100%. So basically top, we're doing the exact same thing, $ curly brace parenthesis curly brace, and then we're going to say is open again, and then the arrow function, get rid of this, then parentheses is open. If that is true, then I'm going to say set the top position to 0, colon else to be minus 100%. Then we got the semicolon. And then we have the z index of 999, which actually I already have that. Okay, perfect. And then underneath the sidebar container, let's do export const close icon equal to styled of fa times, which is the x. And then let me see, why is that there? And then we can basically just say color to be hashtag FF, since it's the only icon there. And then we just have the icon left, so let's just simply put, this is just going to position it in the right place. Let's just say export const, what did I say, icon equals to style.div with the backticks. What happened? And then pretty much we're going to say position absolutes, scroll up, top, let's do 1.2 rem, right, let me do 1.5 rem, let's do background transparent, font size to be 2 rem, cursor pointer, outline is none. So right now nothing is showing up because you can't see anything, but eventually, let me actually do this. Let me see if I can do something so you can see this. Let's go to app.js. Let me just pass in sidebar for right now. Close it out. And let's see, perfect. Okay, so now let's go back to sidebar index.js, command B. And we got imports these from the top. So essentially what I'm going to do is just import these just like we did in the Navbar. So curly brace, let's do sidebar container, comma, icon, close icon, from close dot slash sidebar element. Should have been elements, but it doesn't matter. And now, did I name this properly? Yeah, it should be an S. So rename this sidebar element to elements, just so that we can make sure we're on the same page. and then this would just be elements. That's just a file preference, it really doesn't matter. But the thing is now what's happening is, let me take off the, let me uncomment these for now, and then let me just show you what's happening. So if I just say like top 0, let's see, now you can see it actually shows up. So let's just keep that like that for now, so you can see what the heck's going on. But do I have an unsaved file? What is this? Can't even see what that, oh, index sidebar. All right, yeah, so go back to sidebar, index.js. This should be just one S, just save that. Now pretty much we need to recreate the nav menu, which was here. So let's just go here and let's just start doing that. So let's go under icon. I'm just gonna call this one sidebar wrapper. And then in here I'm gonna have the sidebar menu. And then in here I'm gonna have the sidebar link. Now before we go see in here, let's just say about. Now let's put 2 equals 2 about. And again, these are React scroll links, not router, so they're scrolling. And then basically let me just copy and paste these links. Now we're gonna have a bunch of properties in between these. We'll go back and do it later. But for now, let's just do it like this, so you can see what's going on. So we got about, discover services, and sign up. So for the second one, let's just do yeah, let's do discover. Change the 2 to discover, and then let's do services. Change this one to services, and then let's do sign up, and then let's do sign up. Not sign up, what is that? All right, perfect. And then under, let's just finish off this, and then we can add all the styles. So let's see, if I say that now, I should run an error. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's see, menu wrap under here. So underneath the sidebar menu, but still we have 2 wrap and container above it, I'm gonna create a div. I'm just gonna call this side btn wrap. This is just so I can like center my own button. If you just left it by itself, you couldn't do it. And then let's do sidebar routes. Where's this at? And then inside here, it's gonna say sign up. Actually, it should say sign in. Yeah, I think I put the wrong. I'll change that at the end of this. Should say sign in, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's literally just text right here, but let's say sign in, and then just say 2 equals 2 / this time, because it's a React router link to sign in. So now let's save this, and then let's go to our sidebar elements tab. So again, it's right here. Leave these uncommon for now, so you can actually see what's going on. And then let's see, what do we got first? Wrapper. So let's just say export const sidebar wrapper equal to style.div. Let's just make the color #FF for now. And let's see, export const sidebar link equal to styled of link s. So this is a React scroll. Can't even see. What's going on? All right, so in here, let's do display flex, and then let's do align item center, justify content. This one's gonna be centered here. Let's do font size 1.5 rem. Text decoration to be none. List, what am I saying? List style to, oh chill, okay, let's see, list style to be none. Transition to be 0.2s, ease in out. text decoration. And if you're wondering, this is a bunch of CSS. Yes, I know. I had to build this myself. But pretty much, once we get finished with majority of the style components, there's going to be way more React stuff after. But this is the tedious part. And then let's do color, hashtag FFF. And then cursor pointer. And then I want a hover action. So basically the way you do it is just hover color to be hashtag 01BF71, and then transition to be 0.2 ease-in-out. So we got the sidebar link. Now I just need the, let's see, side btn wrap. So I'm gonna do export const side btn wrap equal to styled dot div with the backticks, display flex, and justify content to be centered. And then underneath there, let's do sidebar route. So let's do export const. I think this should be the last one. Sidebar route equal to style of the link R, says React router link. And why is my screen not working? And let's just do border radius 50 pixels. Background, I want this to be hashtag 01BF71. And then let's do white dash space, no wrap padding, 16 pixels by 64 pixels. Color to be hashtag 010600. Font size to be 16 pixels. Outline to be none. Border to be none. And cursor pointer. And let's see what else we got. Transition to be all 0.2s ease-in-out. And then text decoration to be none. And then lastly we got and hover transition to be all 0.2s ease-in-out. What is this? Background to be hashtag FFF with the color of hashtag 010606 right here. And before we do continue, make sure we go to the top. And let's do under here. We got import. What happened? Import link as from React scroll, and then import curly brace link as link R from React router DOM. And then if we go, we'll have so that okay. Then I do Command B. Let me close up the Navbar. Go back to the index.js and sidebar. Let's import all of these. So we got sidebar wrapper, sidebar menu, sidebar link, side btn wrap, and sidebar routes. And sidebar menu is not exported, so it looks like I didn't do sidebar menu. So let me just make sure I have everything. Go back to my elements. Did I put it here? Got route, btn wrap. So let me, yeah, I think I missed it. So basically, let's do it. Let's see where I want to put this. Sidebar wrapper. So go under sidebar wrapper, and then just go export const sidebar menu. So that equal to style.ul, and then pretty much I'm gonna say display grid grid template column. Oh, I can't believe I forgot the most important piece. Span it 1FR, and then grid template rows to repeat 6. Oh, what happened? 6, 80 pixels in height. And then what I want to do is text align. This is going to be center. Then under here we're going to have at media, screen, and max width is going to be 480 pixels. I just put that from a breakpoint. You can change it if you want to. And then I'm going to say grid template rows to be repeat 6, 60 pixels. So it's just like a shorter height on mobile. And boom, check it out, we got our sidebar. So it doesn't look as clean as the original because I have a different font, but you guys get the point. It's basically the same thing. So right now what's happening here is this, where's this nav menu? Make sure I can find it. These are the grid, these are spanning essentially 80 pixels. If I put like 180, you can see they go crazy. And then you got the button here. So pretty much, you know, typical here. And what we could do now is actually go and add some functions to our actual application so that we can actually get it to toggle the mobile icon. So let's go ahead and let me erase this top 0. Let me click here, Command/, save it so it disappears again. And then let's go back to cool trick I want to show you. If you go up here, make sure you click open editors. You can just exit off that, closes all of them. And the same thing here if you have a bunch of files open. But let's go to Navbar, index.js. And now what I want to do is actually edit the, let's see, I want to create this on click toggle function basically to pretty much get rid of this stuff here. So right now everything we have is inside of the, right now it's inside of the app.js, but I want to move that stuff to my pages. So go over to pages, right click new file, and then just click index.js. So this is essentially going to be the home page, and then I'm basically going to say RAFCE, and then just change this to home. And pretty much what we could do is just, let's just erase these divs here, and we can just import this. So let's just say sidebar, and it automatically imports. And then also let's just do Navbar, and then we can just save it here. And then let's go back to app.js, and technically let's just go ahead and erase this. And let me just put home for now. Let's see if everything is working fine. So it still works. And then if I were to do this twice, okay, perfect. Alright, so we're looking like everything's working. We can get rid of these imports at the top with the sidebar, navbar here. And eventually we're gonna update this, but for now let's keep it like this. And then I want to go to the navbar, and I want to create our actual, where is it at? Here. I want to create a function, so pretty much that will toggle whenever we click on this mobile icon, the actual bar. So let's see, make sure I'm on the right spot. So here, let's do this. So right now we actually have to create this function, and where I'm going to create this is actually on the home page. So let's go back. Let's go to index.js, and right now let me go ahead and let's import React use state, because we're going to use some state now. So finally we're doing some React stuff, and it's React hook action. And then basically inside of here we're just going to say const, and then use the array, so the straight brackets. And if you remember from the I'll show you sidebar elements, I have that as open right here, these properties. So you see these, we're actually going to use them now in here. So simply the first value is the name of your state, so let's say is open. And then the next is a function that's updating it. So I'm gonna say set, set capital IS is open. So you basically just say set whatever you named it. And then say equal to use state. And currently the state is false. So now I'm gonna create a function that is going to update the states and pretty much change it to the reverse. So when sort here, I'm gonna say const, and I'm just gonna call this function toggle. So that equal to an arrow function. So parentheses arrow, and pretty much we're gonna just say set is open, and then in parentheses I'm gonna say the exclamation mark is open. So this is basically just saying set the state to go from false to true, then back to false, true, false, true, false, and pretty much just toggling it. Now, in order for this to work, we have to pass this inside. So let's say is open equals to is open. And then also I need to pass in toggle on the sidebar to toggle. Should have put an equal sign here. And then for the navbar, I have to pass in toggle because it's the navbar. So I'm gonna save this here. And right now, when I click it, nothing happens. And you're like, why is that not happening? And the reason is because we actually haven't passed this into the actual navbar. We just put it here saying it can accept this value. But we need to pass this into, so go back to navbar index.js, mobile icon. I'm gonna say on click, I want to trigger toggle. And then pretty much, let's save this here. Say toggle is undefined. So what we need to do is structure this above. So right here inside of the parentheses of the navbar, curly brace, and then we're just gonna say toggle. So we're passing this value in here. And if I did everything properly, let's see. Right now it's not actually clicking. So let's do Command Shift C to see what's happening. I think, let me make sure I pass in everything. Oh, yeah, we need to still pass in stuff onto the sidebar. Where is that? Index.js. Let's go here. Sidebar container. We need to make sure we have the is open value passed in here. Also want to have an on click so that we can trigger the toggle as well. So that when you click on like any part of the sidebar, like literally like here, it still closes regardless. And then icon, I want that to have the on click because obviously that's where the actual X is. And then let's just destructure this for now. Let's see if this works first. Let's say is open, and then we got toggle. Now let's see if this works now. Perfect. Okay, we got some toggle action. And then if I click anywhere, so right now this part works. The only thing is now if I click on like the menu, you can see it doesn't work, or even here that does, but that's because it's just a page change. But pretty much what you need to do now is add on click toggle to basically all of the nav links. So let's just click here, copy this, and let's go inside of this and just paste, and then just paste here, paste here, paste here, save it, and let's click it now. Okay, awesome. And let's make sure every link is working. And then even if I click down here, it still closes. Okay, so pretty much we're doing pretty good so far with the sidebar and the navbar. Let's start working on the hero section. So again, that one is this right here. So let's go and go to components, create a new folder. I'm gonna call this one hero section. In here, we're gonna have a new file, call this index.js. And then I'm gonna have a new file called this hero elements.js. I'm not gonna put here a section, that's just too much. It's gonna be so long, I can't even read it. And then here, this one's not too bad. It's pretty short, but whoa, what just happened? Okay, Command B, close this out. Now I want to do RAFCE, and let's just call this, oh my bad. Command A, let me make sure I'm in the wrong file. I should be in the index.js, not the elements page. So index.js hero section, I'm gonna do RAFCE, hero, change that there. Actually, let's put hero section. So let me add our first style components. Let me just call this, I'm gonna call this one hero container. And then we're gonna set the ID equals to home because this is the home container, but technically I removed the home. I used to have one earlier in my previous version, but since we're technically, this is the hero section, I don't actually need this. Let me actually just delete this. But ideally, if you had a hero section you wanted to scroll to, you'd put the ID of whatever you name it. So mine's home, but for now, just leave that there. And then we'll have hero BG, which is just the background. And then this one is going to be called video BG. And since we're here, might as well just put in the properties. So let's say autoplay loop. It's muted in case it has volume. src is going to be equal to curly brace video. And I'm going to get the video. I'll show you where I got mine later, but pretty much I just named it this and then type equals to slash video slash mp4. And then I just close this. And then let's simply save this for now. And let me actually go back to the original one. And then let's see, let's go to the hero elements tab. Let's import styled from style components. And then pretty much, let's see, what do I want to add here? So let's just say exports const and then hero container. And then I'm going to set that equal to style.div with the backticks. The background is going to be hashtag 0C0C0C. Display is going to be flex. Justify content will be center. Then we have, let's see, align dash items center. And looks like I forgot the S here. Okay. And then let's do padding to be 0.30 pixels. Height will be 800 pixels. Position is relative. And Z index is going to be 1. Now we're going to add additional stuff here, but it's like quite long, so I'm going to leave that off till later. But let me just leave a comment. Add before styles. And let's see, we got the hero BG next. So let's just call this export const hero BG equals to style.div and position absolute, top 0, right 0, bottom 0, and then left 0. Now the width of 100%, where's that? Then we got the height of 100%, and then overflow is hidden. And what did I mess up this time? Export const equals. Did I miss something? Is it because of this comment here? No, what in the world? Did I spell something wrong? Export const hero BG equals sty dot div backticks. Yeah, that's so weird. I don't know why it's doing that. What the heck? Unless I'm blind right now, I can't see why it's doing that. That's strange. Either let me try something else. Export const video bg equals to. Alright, something's not right. Yes, I don't know why my VS Code is doing that with the text. That's so weird. I don't see anything wrong, so I'm just gonna continue and see what happens after. So let's do export const video styled dot video, because it's a video, and then we're just gonna say width of 100%. Let's do height of 100%, and then dash o dash object dash fit. Why did it do that with the double dash tag? Want this to be cover, and then let's do object dash fit to be covered, and then background just to be hashtag 232A34. And so far that doesn't make sense why these aren't being highlighted. That seems like some error. Oh, so I just had to save it. Okay, that's so weird. I hadn't seen that before. But now what we can do is let's import this into our page, our index.js page. So go back to pages index.js, and let me go right under the navbar, hero section, press enter, auto imports, and then save it here. If it doesn't auto import, just manually type it up. And then let's go back to our index.js, and now we need to actually add this import. So let's see what we got here. So first thing is the let's do the video. So I just said import and just name it v video from, and then the files essentially in the videos folder, which we don't even have yet. So I'm gonna say dot slash and then dot slash to get out of there, and then you can see we can go down to videos. So I'm press enter here, and then the video, I'm just gonna name it video.mp4. So right now this doesn't exist, but I will show you how to get that. And then let's do imports, curly brace, let's do hero container, hero bg, video bg from dot slash hero elements. So when I save this now, it's gonna say cannot find video. So let me show you the site I use to get this. So here's a website that I use. It's called Pexels Video, and I just typed in I don't even remember what I typed in. I think like, let's see, data. Yep, there we go, data. Click it, and then just go ahead and just choose whichever size you want. Smaller won't load, it won't make it lag as much, so that's just key. And then just download this file and then drag it over into your project, and then we can rename it. So let me do that really quick. And pretty much, let me go ahead, let me find my file real quick. So here I'm going to bring this command B, we scroll this up here, and let me get my video, and let's drag this into videos. Now most likely when you download this from Pexel, it's going to be crazy, so you just right click, hit rename, and then just rename it to video.mp4. And then you can see we got the video playing. Look at that. That's clean, right? They also got the nav. Looks pretty cool without any text. But now let's finish up the text now. So I'm gonna do command B. Now under the hero BG, I'm gonna do hero content. And then underneath there, I'm gonna do hero, I'll just call this one hero H1. Virtual banking made easy. And then here I just call this one hero P for just P tag for shorts. and then enter space sign up for a new account today and receive $250 in credits towards your next payment. Save that. That's not defined. And let's see, we only have like 2 more. Let me just finish this off. So under the hero P, let's do hero BTN wrapper, and then underneath here this is gonna be a button that we haven't created yet, so let's do it now. Might as well have it here. Button 2 equals to sign up, and then we'll keep it like this for now, and then I'm gonna say get started, and then I have this function, essentially a hover, that pretty much will showcase the arrow forward icon, else the arrow right. Where's that? And then we're pretty much done with this section. And you're wondering, like, what is this line right here? This is pretty much the you see this little arrow? It's like a forward one, and then it switches. This is the way I did it. I'm sure there's a different way, but this is like the easiest way to do it. And then let's just go ahead and start styling this stuff. So let's go to our hero elements. So right here, and let's go underneath this. Let's do export const hero content equals to style.div. Let's do z index of 3. Let's do max width of 1200 pixels. Position absolute. Padding 8 pixels by 24 pixels. Display is flex. The flex direction is column. And align items is center. And then let's do export const hero h1 equals to style dot h1. Oh, what's going on? And this is going to be color hashtag FFF for white. Font size will be 48 pixels. Text align is center. And then underneath there I have media queries, so at media screen and scroll up. And max width of 768 pixels. Font size is 40 pixels. At media screen and max width of 480 pixels. Font size is 32 pixels. And then let's go export const hero p is equal to style.p. The backticks are here. Then I say margin dash top 24 pixels. Color hashtag FFF. Font size 24 pixels. Text align is center. Max width will be 600 pixels. And that should be a colon. Okay. Oh, these have media queries, my bad. I forgot the media. And I think they're the same. So let me just copy these up here from the H1. Paste them here. And then just change the font size from 40 to 24. And then from 32 to 18. And then what we got? We're almost there. Export const hero btn wrapper equals to style.div with the backticks. Margin dash top of 32 pixels. Display flex. Flex direction column. inline items to be centered. And then I'm going to say export const arrow forward. I just named it that one. And this is going to be styled of the MD arrow forward, which is the React icon. I want the margin left to be 8 pixels. Font size to be 20 pixels. We have export const arrow right is equal to style dot, or not style, style dot, okay, MD keyboard arrow right, the backticks, what happened here? And then we just copy this. And then I need to go to the top, and then I need to import this. So let's say imports MD keyboard arrow right, and then MD arrow forward from react-icon / MD. Like this, and then let's go back to the hero section. So again, hero section index.js, and then we simply just need to import this. So let's add it here. So what we got hero content, hero h1, hero p tag, hero btn wrapper. Oh no, not button. And let's see, arrow forward, arrow right. So when I save this now, we have multiple things right now. So we have hover. So let's use state. So let's just add that for now. Let's do use state. And this is just simple use state const hover with the brackets, then set hover equal to use state of false. Then we say const on hover equal to the parentheses, which is equal to the curly braces. It says set hover of hover. And where is this? On hover function needs to be on the button. So now I want to do basically on mouse enter equals to curly brace on hover, and then on mouse leave is equal to curly brace on hover. So I want to save that, and you can't see anything yet because guess what, the button, we haven't created this. So essentially, let me just exit off all this stuff, go to components, right click new file, and then just call this button element.js. Now this essentially is like, you can pretty much reuse this anywhere that it fits, but the reason I created so many different buttons in the previous like nav bars and everything is because they're different links. This one is essentially going to be a React scroll link by default, but in the nav you can see like I had both these like a React scroll links right here, but this one's a React router link, so I had to make a new style to make that work for that way. And now let's just do import styled from styled components. Should you spell that right? Let me close that for a second. Also want to import link from react scroll. And then I'm going to say export const button is equal to styled of link. And then we have the backticks here. And then basically you're going to say border radius 50 pixels. Background is going to be, and this is where it gets pretty fancy. And this is how we can add a bunch of cool little hover animations, everything, without having to do it with a new style every time. So pretty much going to do $, curly brace, parenthesis, curly brace. I'm going to call this one primary. Set this arrow function to parentheses, and basically I'm going to say primary. If that's true, I'm going to set hashtag 01B F71. Else I'm gonna set the color, if it's false, to hashtag 010606. And then pretty much that's the end of that. And then we have whites, the white space, no wrap, and then let's do padding. Be $, curly brace, parenthesis, curly brace. I'm gonna say big, just like if it's a big button. And then parenthesis, I'm gonna say big. If it's true, I want the size to be 14 pixels by 48 pixels. Else I want it to be 12 pixels by 30 pixels. And then under the padding, I'm gonna have color. $, curly brace, parenthesis, curly brace. I'm gonna say dark. And then basically, parentheses, I'm gonna say dark. If the dark is the color of text is true, I want to display hashtag 010606. Else I want to display hashtag FFF for white. And then, okay, let's get rid of this. Let's do font size equal to $, curly brace, parenthesis, curly brace. I'm gonna say font big. And then the arrow function here. And parentheses, font big. If that is true, I'm gonna set the font size to 20 pixels. Else I'm gonna set it to 16 pixels. And then outline is gonna be none. Border is none. Cursor pointer. Display is flex. Justify content is center. And then align items is center. And transition is all 0.2s, ease in dash out. And then I have a media hover, so and colon hover. And then we're gonna copy the transition. And then we need a background. And if technically I can just copy this. Let me just copy this background here. And basically I just want to replace the position. Actually no, let's erase these right here. And then right before the question mark, I'm gonna say FFF colon, then this right here. So let's save this here. Command B, go back to the index.js, go to the top, and let's import curly brace button from / button element. Save it, and this currently is working. So we got the text, we got this, and we got our hover action. So now if I want to change the value of this button without having to do much, I can just go onto this button here. So like here I'm still inside the button opening tag. I'm just gonna say let's do primary equals to true. Let's do dark equals to true. And let's save that for now. And boom, I just changed the color just like that. And you can see you got the little icon. Look at that right there. So pretty much, we're not 100% done because we still have to add the smooth scroll effects too. But I'm gonna wait till we have more content for that to actually do something. But for the current, oh yeah, one last thing I forgot. I forgot to tell you, if we go back to the hero elements. So you see right now it's kind of like super bright, but then on the main one it's like a little darker. You see the difference? It's way different, right? So what I'm gonna do is actually, let me see if I can change this. So pretty much here under the Z index, I can erase this before styles comment. Then I'm gonna say colon before curly brace, and now I'm just gonna say content here with the empty quotes, and then position is absolute. Top will be 0, left will be 0, right will be 0, and then bottom will be 0. And then the background we're gonna do is basically linear dash gradient, and then pretty much I'm gonna say 180 degrees RGBA parentheses 0, 0, 0, 0.2, and then 0%, comma, then RGBA parentheses 0, 0, 0, 0.6, and then out of that 100%, and then I'm gonna put a, let me make sure I can see, closing parenthesis, and let me make sure I did everything right. I need to spread this out more because it's harder to see it. But we got, let's see, make sure I did everything. This should not have a parenthesis. Okay, there, now that works, comma. And then I'm gonna have linear dash gradient of 180 degrees, comma, RGBA parenthesis 0, 0, 0, 0.2. Outside of this parenthesis 0%, and then comma transparent 100%. Then z dash index of 2. Let me save that, and I can see it is way darker and looks way different than the original one. And also notice the positioning looks a little off, right? So what I did is we go back to our Navbar elements, go to the top, let's uncomment this margin top 80 pixels, and now we got it looking like this. So now this is pretty much what we got going on. And when we're here, let's since we're here already, let's just import the Google fonts. So let me just go in here and show you. So here, let me see if I can click. I just typed in Google Fonts encode sans, but I don't think that's the one I wanted. So let me just go here and let's do encode sans expanded. Here we go. So just click this one. I took the 400 and the 700. I took the link here, and then I went to the public file index.html, and I just pasted it above the title so it's easy to know where I'm at. And that should done it because we already added that as a font at the top. So now it's basically identical. Awesome. All right, and let me see here. Perfect. All right, cool. So now let's see what we can actually create now. Let's see. Hold on. Let me close out everything first. So let's go ahead and let's create our info sections now. So I'm going to go to components, right click, new folder. I'm going to call this info section. Let me close this probably really quick. And then in the info folder, let's do a new file. Let's just call this index.js. And then also a new file, and let's call this info. Let's just see if I should call this info elements or just info. Yeah, I think that works better. All right, what happened? I misclicked. Info elements.js. And then also we're gonna have a data file in here. So I'm gonna call this one just data.js. And in the index.js, let's go ahead and create our React app again. So RAFCE, press enter. This is called this info section. I couldn't come up with a good name for this besides that, but if you have a better one, comment below. Feel free to let me know. And what I'm referring to is like these sections right here. I don't know what to like call it. That's shorter, like one word or so. Because a hero is like the main one here, but I mean you can say main, I guess. But technically, if you use it on another page, would that still be main? Who knows? Whatever. But let's go ahead and just start adding in our code here. So First thing is, let's get rid of this div here. So let me just put a little fragment, and then let's do let's do info container. And I'm actually gonna pass an ID here now, because this is where we start passing in values. And this is where it matters. All right, so now I'm gonna have an info wrapper. And then let's do info row. And then in the info row, we're gonna have a column. So I'm gonna say column 1. And then let's close this out. And then in the column 1, we're gonna have a text wrapper. And this one's basically gonna say the top line, which is the technically literally the top line. Let me just put top line for now. And let's see. Let me just put these so that we can see the filler for now. And let's do heading. Just put heading. And then let's just do title here. Subtitle. And then let's do BTN wrap. And then inside here we're gonna have the button. So let's do button, press enter, because this is the React scroll button we just created from button elements, so you can see it imported at the top. I want this to equal to home. Let me close this out for now, and then let's just put button for now. Let's save this, and now let's go and let's move the info section into the index.js. And the only issues we have to pass the data, but let's just do this for now so we can see the errors. So info section, press enter. And let me save this. Now we'll go back to the info section. We got a bunch of stuff. So let's go to info elements, import styled from styled components. Let me drag this over so you can see what did we forget. Alright, so now let's do export const info container equal to style.div with the backticks. Color is going to be hashtag FFF. Background is going to be $, curly brace, parenthesis, curly brace, light BG. And then let's do light BG, close out. That's true. Let's do hashtag F9, F9, F9. Else I want to do 010606. And under here, let's do at media screen and max width of 768 pixels. And I want to set the padding to 100 pixels by 0. And then I'm going to do, let's see, we got info wrapper. So export const info wrapper is equal to style.div with the backticks. I'm going to say display grid, z index of 1, height is 860 pixels, width is 100%. What happened? Why did I do that? Max width is 1100 pixels. Margin dash right is auto. Margin dash left is auto. Padding is 0.24 pixels, and justify content is center. And then let's see, info row. So let's export const info row equal to style.div with the backticks. say display grid auto columns min max of let's see, auto column 1 fr, align dash items is centered, grid templates areas, this is going to be image start. So let's just do $, curly brace, parenthesis, curly brace, img start. The arrow functions here. And then if img start is true, then I'll return, this is actually, you have to say backticks, or you can do the quotes, but I'm just gonna do backticks quotes, so 2 quotes, column 2, column 1, and then I'm gonna say else backticks quotes, column 1, column 2. So this is just a CSS grid where we have like the positioning of columns side by side, and then underneath here I'm simply going to add a media query, so add media screen and max width of 760 pixels, and then grid dash template dash areas is equal to $, curly brace, parenthesis, curly brace, img start, and then the arrow functions there, and then I'm gonna say basically I'm gonna see img start. If that's true, I'm gonna return backticks. And let me see if get rid of this sign here. Backticks. Then the double quotes. Make sure you put 2. And go back in the middle. Column 1. And then outside of this column, but still inside the backtick. Make sure, because this is important. You don't want to mess this up. So you can see we're backtick, quote, call 1, quote, space, quote, call 2, quote, backtick. Make sure you do it like that. So look at the screen, pause it, and make sure you have exactly like this, because if you don't, it's not going to work. And then the colon, and then I'm going to do backtick, quotes, call 1, quote, space, quote, call 2, space, call 2, quote, backtick, which is already there for me. So again, look at the screen and make sure you have it exactly as I do. If you don't, you're gonna have issues because you messed up. And this is essentially a way to make it where it's like, once I show you, once we're done with it, you'll see what's actually happening. But it's important you have that. If you don't, it's gonna be really annoying. And that took me a while to figure out, because stock components, sometimes just converting it from regular CSS, it's really difficult. But this one was, I figured this one out. And then let's do, let's see, exports const column 1 is equal to style.div with the backticks. And then basically I'm gonna say margin dash, whoa, what happened? Margin dash bottom is gonna be 15 pixels. And then I have padding to be 0 by 15 pixels. And then grid area is going to be called column 1. Now technically we haven't even created a column 2, but I'm just going to copy because I'm just going to add it after. And this would be essentially our column 2, and that's column 2. So now you know where these actual like names came from. And then let's do export const text wrapper equal to style.div with the backticks. This one's gonna be max width of 540 pixels. Padding dash top is 0. And then padding dash bottom is 60 pixels. And then let's do export const top line equal to style dot div. I think I can just make this like a, let's see, I should probably do yeah, let me just do a p tag for this. And then let's just do color hashtag 01BF71. Font size is 16 pixels. Line height is 16 pixels. Font, let's see, weight is 700. Letter spacing is gonna be 1.4 pixels. Text transform is uppercase. And then margin dash bottom is 16 pixels. And let's see, what do we have left? We have heading, subtitle. So let's do export const heading equals to style.h1, one with the backticks. And then I'm gonna say margin dash bottom is gonna be 24 pixels. Font size is gonna be 48 pixels. Line height is going to be 1.1. What happened? And then let's do font weight of 600. Color is going to be $, curly brace, parenthesis, curly brace, light text, and that's equal to arrow with light text question. So if it's true, I want to show F7, F8, FA, else I want 010606. And pretty much we close that here. And before we get out of this, I'm gonna say at media screen, and max width is 480 pixels with a font size of 32 pixels. And then let's do export const subtitle equals to style.p, and then let's just say max width of 440 pixels, margin dash bottom of 35 pixels, font size is 18 pixels, line height is going to be 24 pixels, then the color is going to be $, curly brace, parenthesis, curly brace of dark text. And then if that's true, I want dark text to display, else I want to show hashtag 010606, else I want it to be hashtag FFF. And we're doing majority of the styling right now, so we don't have to mess with it later. And let's see, let's do button wrap. Export const btn wrap is equal to style.div with the backticks. Display flex, and we're almost finished, guys. And then let's do justify content flex start. Now we haven't actually added these yet, but there's only 2 left, so I'm just gonna say export const img wrap. I'm gonna set that equal to style.div with the backticks. Say max width is going to be 555 pixels, and the height is going to be 100%. And then last but not least, export const image img is equal to style.img with the backticks. The width is going to be 100%. The margin is going to be, let's do 0, 0, 10 pixels, 0. Padding dash right will be 0. Save that there. Let's go back to the index.js info section. Let's do the imports now. So let me make sure we have everything right. Actually, before we do the imports, go under the, let's see, column 1, add column 2. and then in here do img wrap, and then inside there img do img src is equal to, actually, let's see, let me just close that for now. Let me take rid of this ID for now. It's probably gonna run an error because we passed in properties on the stock components, but we'll see for now. So let's do let's see, import curly brace info container. Let's do info wrapper info row column 1 column 2 text wrapper top line heading subtitle btn wrap. Let's see if let's do that from / info elements. So now we forgot btn wrap. Let's do img wrap and then img. Awesome. Okay, so right now input is a void element tag must have children norm. And let's see, what did I forget? So the thing is too, I didn't in the actual, what's it called, the styling, there's a bunch of missing things I need to go back and add. But basically, let's just go ahead and let's go back to info elements. And let me just comment out everything that has these the property stuff right here. I just want to make sure everything still works fine. So you can just watch right now, you don't have to do this, but let's see, let's save it now. And let's see, what is it saying that? Button elements. Input is a void element tag and must need to have. Oh yeah, okay, that's why. Here, let's just erase this. Okay. So now, as you can see, it's not showing right now because wait, why do I have an input? Did I add an input? What is this? Hold on. Info element? Did I put input? That's really strange. I don't know where that's from. We'll find out soon, but right now, let's see. Let's go ahead. It's good that it's showing up. So what now I'm going to do is I'm going to Command Z all of the things I uncommented. I think we should be fine. Yeah, so everything is back to normal. And then let's go to index.js. And let's make sure I put it, okay, yeah. So right now, yeah, this is the button. I don't know why it's like an input, it's weird. But basically, we're going to have to make a object with data inside of it, and then essentially pass in all this data into our actual info section. Because right now we have like these standard stuff right now, but that's not what we want to do. So actually, let me make sure you guys can see it too. Like H1, let's see. No, that's not right. Oh, I guess it's not working. So you can see the heading there. So technically, it's there, but let's actually edit our data file now, because right now you can't see anything. So like it defeats the whole point of this info section if you can't actually see why we created this. So here is the data file, and if you haven't seen this before, pretty much this is a way so you can create reusable components, And then pretty much like if I go here and show you, like these sections are literally the same code. I just changed the titles in the data file and just reversed the images all from the data file. So I don't have to sit there and write a bunch of code or copy and paste. It's literally just mapping through essentially all these data files and just pretty much getting it all. So actually, let me go back and close this out. Let's go ahead and let me close everything out, make sure I can see everything. Let's go to SRC again, components, info section, data. All right, so now we're gonna add in our data. So if you've never seen this before, essentially this is going to be the file where I can pass in all these different values and we can essentially update the design of our website without having to hard code in these properties. And also this is a way to make it reusable too. So again, like anything right here, I can pretty much update this and switch them around. So for instance, like this image on this one, it's right here. And that's because I put a specific property, which I did earlier. Let me see if I can show you. The like light text, the dark text, I think they have image start, img start. So once I start putting this in, you'll see what it is. So let me command B. Let's just do export const. And let me just call this one home obj for object, and then I'll just call this 1. So that equal to curly brace. And the first thing is I'm gonna have the ID, and you do a colon, and then simply I'll just say about in quotes. And that's essentially the about section, which was the first one right here. And then let me put in, I put light, BG for short, so light background. And essentially for the first one, I want it to be false because that one was essentially the dark background, which is again here. And then let me do light text. That one I'll make it as true. And let me do light text DESC description. That can be true as well. And then under this, I'll put top line. Let me just do camel casing here. Top line, essentially this green text right here, I just named the top line. I can make this one, I'll just say premium bank. And then let's do headline on limited transactions with 0 fees. And headline is this right here, you guys can see as I type. Let's do description. I want that to be get access to our exclusive app that allows you to send unlimited transactions without getting charged any fees. So these again, these are just copy I made up. And then after this line, let's do button label. I want this to say get started. So that's just the text I put for the inside of the button. img start, this one is going to be false because it's the text, that's the first section. Then image, so img, and since I'm passing it through here, you might have issues in terms of passing in the actual path. So the way I got it to work is just say require parenthesis and then quotes // and then we go into our images folder and then /svg-1.svg. So we haven't actually added our images yet, but once we do, it would be named that, and then I simply would have it displayed. The alt tag, I just put just car, and then I put dark. I'll put that as true, and then that's also, this is mainly for the button now, and then primary, I'll put this as true, and then let's do dark text will be false. So that's our first data section right here, and you can see it's like that. So now let me just command S, save this, and then next thing I want to do is get the actual images just so that we have that there. So let me show you the site I went to. So here I am on this site called Undraw. Alright, this one's pretty popular for getting SVGs, and basically just hit browse now, and then you simply can click and change the actual color.
So for this one, let me see what color I have for the make sure I use the right color here. So this is the one I use, so I'm just gonna go into this hex code, copy the one for the green. Again, you can use whatever color you want to, and then it just shows all these different photos that you can utilize. So like you can just go to the search and just type in like car, and then go down below and then just pick whatever you want. So I think I was clicked on this one, and then you just download the SVG for your project, and then you're good to go. And then the next one, these are the ones I use, like the piggy bank. This is like data file. So you can go in here, choose whichever images you want, or you can actually use a real image, like a one off of like a camera taken one, not like a drawing. It's up to you, but this is where I went to, and just go crazy with this. So you're gonna need, for this example, 3 SVGs here. So that's 3, and then also for this one I reused 2. So technically you need 4 images if you want to copy what I did, or you can make these completely different. So then you technically would need 6, but I just reused 2 of them just because, you know, I like the way they looked. So go ahead, download anywhere from 4 to 6 of these. Pick whatever one you like, and then once you downloaded them, all you need to do is go and drag that over to your folder. So let me go get mine real quick. So here I had 6 previously downloaded, so I'm just gonna drag all of these in. And note I renamed all of them, so just right click one, rename, and to change it to SVG-1, 2, 3, etc. till you get to however many you downloaded. And pretty much now, let's go back to my actual app. Right now, nothing, if I refresh, nothing's gonna happen because we need to implement this. So let's test this out right now. So let's go to our index.js. So on our pages now, go to our home page, and we close this out. And now technically our info section, it's showing, you know, the info, but what we have to do is pass in the data that we just created. So I'm gonna do the curly braces, and we're gonna spread in all these properties. So I'm gonna do what we call the object home obj1, and then I'll just press enter. Let me see if it auto imports it. So we imported home obj1 from components info section data. Let me save this now. And then technically nothing is showing yet because we have to actually pass in this data. So go back to info section, click on index.js, and now we can actually display these values to the screen. So the first one's info container. This one needs light bg, and I'm gonna say equal to light bg. So we have that there. ID is equal to curly brace ID, and then let's see, info row, that's where my image is gonna be. So I'm gonna say img start equals to img start. Top line, I'm going to replace top line, the hard-coded value, with the actual top line value. For the heading, I'm going to do the same here, and it's going to be headline is what I called it in my data file. Heading, I'm going to say light text equals to light text. And then subtitle, if you guys guessed it, you do curly brace, and then I'll have this one as description. And then under here, dark text equals to dark text. Now I probably could rename these, but again, this is just naming. You guys can go technically name this whatever you want to. Button, right here's the button. So I need to take out this closing tag and then re-add another button opening here, or closing curly brace. Let me say button label right here, and then let's add on the img down below here. Let's do the src. The image link is going to be the img that we added in the value, and then the alt simply going to be the alt value that we added. So again, if you're confused, what I'm doing is I'm just everything I named, light bg, light text, img, alt, dark, image start, etc. I'm just passing these in. So literally the src is going to be the value of img, which is this value here. And then light text or light bg is false, meaning if on our actual stock components, this is not going to have the light bg if it's false here. So that's majority of it. I still need to add stuff to the button itself, but let's actually pass these into the info section. So we're gonna destructure. So right here, const info section, you just do curly braces here, and then we simply just pass in all the values we just write. So light bg, id, img start, top line, light text. Let's do headline. Let's do dark text. Dark text here. Let's do description, button label, and I think img. Oh, hold on. Button label, comma img, and then alt. Let me save this, and let's see if I'm missing anything. This is on the actual sign in, so I don't want to be on the actual sign in. And then let me see what else. All right. It's saying I have this. Input is voice, element tag, and was. So it's saying this button here is an input for some reason, which I'm not too sure why it's doing that. So let me go look in to see what happened here. So button is imported from, that's why this should be not React scroll. This should be // button elements. Save this here, and then let's see, what is it saying? Can I resolve / button elements? So let's see, why is it saying this now? So index.js model not found // So let me make sure I named this properly. Yeah, export const button. So let me check, what did I put for the let's see, unless I mistyped something on the actual let's see, command B. Let's go to our btn wrap and let's just check that really quick. Yeah, so that's a div there, so don't see anything wrong here. Alright, so we figured out the issue was literally I named this wrong. On button element, I put button element, not elements. So this minor mistake caused a lot of issue that if you didn't realize that would literally ruin everything. So let's try to command S this again, and then I need to simply go back to the info section, make sure that's there, and then technically should work now. Let me make sure I didn't mess up. Why is it not? Did I not rename it still? Yeah, so let me close everything out. Okay, what happened here? Yeah, let me save this here. Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah, that's a problem now. So let's just go back to the index.js now. Everything's still working fine, nothing broke. Okay, hero section's here, and then info section is right here. So notice how look, these are the current values right here. So let's go back and let's check out the check out the data. So right now let's do so the data looks like it's fine. So what I want to check is to make sure that the let's see, because currently it looks like the header isn't getting applied the whatchamacallit, the colors, and also the description isn't working here. So let's go to button elements and let's just take a look at this really quick. Oh yeah, that's one thing I need to add. So let me go back to index.js. For the button, we need to go and add some properties to it because I just put to home. So instead I want to add let's see, so this one's actually going to be a React scroll, but let's just add primary equals to, well, let me add this first. So the thing is with React scroll, again, there's initial values that you can add. So I'm gonna say smooth equals to true, and then let's do duration equals to 500 milliseconds. Let's do spy equals to true. Now you have to do spy. If you don't, then it doesn't know how to actually add the active class to it. I'm gonna say exact equals to true, so it knows it's this one right here. Offset. Now this is where it's important, and once we do this for the nav, it'll make way more sense. But let me just show you like a little intro right now. This essentially is saying, since we have the 80 pixel navbar, essentially it's minusing 80 pixels. So from right, see where the dark background to the light goes, right when it hits, right at the top, it's getting triggered instead of being, let me actually show you the real side. So let me go to like this. So right here, see how it's an about, and now it's about to pass discover. Right when it hits, you see that? Boom. that because we put -80 so that it actually knows to trigger here. Because if I didn't put the 80, it's gonna only trigger when it's like down here. You see the difference? So it's only gonna trigger when it's 80 pixels in, versus having this offset that essentially brings it back. And then here, let's do primary. And the thing is, this one, I had to look this up on Stack and found a solution, but pretty much you can't just say primary like this on a button and just pass it in, because for some reason stock components, it wasn't working well. And you can't do like, if it's like this, it's true, else false. At least when I was making this, because there's just something about it where I just didn't like this. So a solution I found is to use 1, or 0. So essentially, if primary has a value of true, return 1 basically is true, else return 0 false. And then same for dark, equals to dark (1, or 0. And then I have this another thing called dark 2, which essentially just changes the value. And I'll see if I'll keep it in or not for later, but I'll just have this there. Then pretty much you can see we have it like this. So now I can save this. And let's see, those aren't in turn, so let's add these at the bottom. Let's do, what I put, primary, dark, and then dark 2. And notice how the button changed. You can see that it is not the same. And then now let's look into why the let's see, so we got headline, light text is equal to light text, and then we got subtitle, dark text is equal to dark text. So let's go back to our data file, and also lightbg is equal to lightbg. So let's check data. So I don't know if I put it on the so lightbg is false, so technically this should be true. So let's just text. So if light text is true, so let me refresh, make sure this mess up. So if light text is true, I want it to be, let's do red. So it looks like it's working. Ah, okay. Yeah. So light text, if it's true, return this value, else return this value. So I'm not sure why. Oh, I put true for light text. Let's do, yeah. So light BG, I think I did this opposite. Let me make sure. So light BG is the one I want to check. So light text is true right now. Let's make it false. So now it looks like my colors aren't working. So let me check my console really quick, make sure I did something wrong. No errors there. Okay, so let's see. This must be the order, I guess, I wrote the stock components. Let me just double check everything, make sure I did everything right. So let's go to, let's see, Command Z this, keep that there. Let me make sure I put yeah, light there. So I just need to make the background light BG needs to be the one I need to change. So let's check this one out. So light BG is true, return red. Okay, let's see here. Light BG is true, return red. So it's false, so it's returning. Is this not dark? What happened? Let me check the hex code of this color. Is this not, what color is this? Oh, that's why I didn't put a hex code in front of it. There we go. Okay, so go back if you guys didn't, if you're trying to see, go back to the top of the info section elements and make sure you put the little hashtag, because I was going crazy. I was like, how's that not working? Okay, so minor error, but we fixed it. And now, if anything on here isn't working, like in terms of the coloring, make sure it's because you probably missed something on the actual styling. Now check this out. So this is again our image start properties here, our column. So essentially it's like column 1 here and then like column 2 here. So let me just like inspect this. You guys can probably see it better. And move my arrow, and you can see how they're like 2 boxes. Yeah, it's essentially like 2 little columns technically right there. And that's just the way I did it. I mean, I'm sure there's like 100 different ways to design the same design, but this is what I did. And pretty much, let me just show you. I think I have to bring it like this. Yeah, so let's Command B this. Let's go to the data file, and then on img start, which is down here, I can just change this to true, save it, And boom, look, just like that, magic. See, like that? So now if you don't like the way it's like this, you just switch it up. And that's basically, again, triggering this this property here. And then even for like the image, let's say I don't like this image, I'm gonna say SVG2. Then you simply put in the image they have. I'm using SVGs. Again, if you have images, it would just be the same concept. And then everything else is pretty much the same. All right, so since we're already here on the data file, I just want to just copy this. So I'm gonna say Command A, Command C, and then paste this once. Change this to home object. Let's do 2. And then here, let's do home object, and let's do 3. So in terms of the SVG, let's just do 2 for now, and then let's do SVG 3 for mine. And then let me just save this. And if I scroll down, nothing is actually showing. So what we have to do is actually go to the pages up here and click on index. And pretty much what we need to do is just paste this into the actual index page. So I'm gonna do Alt Shift down arrow on Mac. I think that is Option Shift down arrow right next to the command button. Just press it and then it copies it down directly, and then I can do it again and you're pretty much there. And then I can just do like home obj2 and then home obj3, and then all I need to do is go up here and just import that. So home obj2, home obj3. Let's save it, and let's just scroll down and we can see that we've actually implemented our stuff. So first thing is I want to let me just show you since we're here already. The second one, the image is on the left and it's white text. So let me go back and let me just edit that in there for you. So let's go to the data file now. And I'll do this one, and then the third one I'll probably just copy it, just I don't want to waste time doing it again. But basically here, let's go ahead, and this is how I pretty much change it. So the ID here, let's scroll it in so you can see it. So we're editing this section now here. This ID is going to be discover. That's what I named it. Light BG is going to be true. Light text is false. The light description is false. And then this one we'll just put unlimited access. And then pretty much I'll leave these descriptions out because that's something you can fill in yourself, because it's not really, it's just random stuff. But button label, let's change that to learn more. Image start is going to be true. We've already added the image. The alt tag, let's just put piggy bank. Dark is going to be false. Primary is false, and then dark text is true. Let's save that here. And looks like the headline isn't, let's see, should be, I'll put true, false, false, image starts true, dark is false, primary is false, and dark text is true. So let me check why the headline isn't doing what I want it to do. So let's go and Command B this. Let's check out, because the headline up here is white. Let me check if I put any properties on the headline. So heading light text equal to light text. So I should have put yeah, so it looks like light text right here. Let's try true. Doesn't even do anything. So let's do it must be on the hero, or not here, the info section elements. Let me check light text, see where I put that. Ah, see that? I did it again. I didn't put the hashtag. That little error. Awesome. Okay, perfect. So if you did see I missed the hashtag on top of the color in the elements page for info elements. So I just fixed that now, and that was a minor mistake. And then pretty much you can see we have everything here. And then you can just update this. So I'll just go ahead and just copy my own copy from my files, because that doesn't really, it's just text literally. So let me just copy that into the thing. So let's do, I got my headline and description. So if you guys want to copy exactly what I put, just You can pause the screen here. So I'm just pasting this. So all I did was just change the headline text and the description text, and then I'll save it. And you can see it just says this right here. So you can upload this if you want to. It really doesn't matter. But let me do the info, the home object 3 now. So this one, let's see what we have here. I just need to do an image switch pretty much, and like I think we're pretty much set. So this one should be fairly simple. And then no, you can do infinite, but let me finish this first and let me show you what you can do. So now let's just say ID is sign up, because that's my sign up section. I just named it. Light BG. Looks like I'll do true because I'm gonna have another section in between this. False for the light text. Light description. False. I'll paste in the top line, headline, description, and then also, I mean the button I can change now, it's not that much. Let's do start now. Image start, false. Image is 3, this one is papers. Dark is false. Primary, the button is false, and then we got true. So if I save it now, this is pretty much what we got in here. So all I want to do is just let me copy in my top line and my description, because that stuff's just custom, like you can add whatever you want. So if you guys want to copy that, feel free, or you can just leave it. And I just changed the top line of join our team. Headline is this line right here, and then description's right there. So you guys get the point. That's how you pretty much can update data. And then you can literally, if you go to the index.js page, the home page, if you were to copy this infinite amount of times, it would just display infinitely. Like, look at how many of these are. And if you're like, how do I make more? Like, what if I want like 6 different data points? All you would do is like here, you would just change the name. So let's say you do like 4 and then like 5. I put 5, or you guys get the point. And then like 6, let me erase that. And then you just go to your data file and then just copy and paste this however many times. So another one, you would just do it like this, change that to 4, change this image to, let's do like FEG4. And then let me just save this for now. Let me show you in case people are confused. And then I just have to import this at the top, home obj4. And then now you can see we got this new section right here. This is the 4th one. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So that's just a way to add a new one, but I'm only gonna use 3. So let me just close that out. Close that out here. And then let me get rid of this one. All right, so if we look at the site right now, click here. We can like click on our menus that have the IDs, and you can see that it transports us down to it instantly. You can see that there. But before we add the smooth scroll effect, I want to finish off with the, I'll go to the real one, the service section here. And that will complete majority of the site. And then we can add in our smooth scroll action. So what I'm gonna do is let me go back to our files. Let me close out these. We're done with that one. Let's go to, let's see, we need to create a new component, and I'm gonna call this one new folder under components. Just name it services. And then in the services, let me just right click. Let's do new file. Let's do index.js. And then new file again. And then let's do services elements.js. And then we just need to add in our details. So let me go into here, index.js as services, a command B. Let's do RAFCE, change the index to services. And then in here, let's start actually adding in our code. So let's do stock components. So it's going to be the first one is going to be services container. And then this one's going to have an ID equal to services. And then under here, let's do services H1. It's going to call it our services. And then let's do, I'm going to call this services wrapper. And then I'm gonna have my services card. And then in here, I'm gonna have the services icon. And then put a slash. And then this one's gonna be SRC. So this essentially is an image. And this one's gonna call it icon 1. Now, if you've ever seen this before, I'll show you. This is like a cool little trick for importing images, and it's just like a cleaner way. But here, let's do underneath services icon. Let's do services H2. Let's just say reduce expenses, and then under here, let's do services P tag, and this is gonna say we help reduce your fees and increase your overall revenue. So that's pretty much the services card right here. So what we can do is we can actually just copy this. So let's go here, press enter, paste it down. I'll change this to icon 2, and then under here let's paste it down again. I'll change this icon 3. And then in the actual copy, let's just change this really quick. Shouldn't be too hard. I put virtual offices, and then here we can just put you can access our platform online anywhere in the world, and then put a period here, and then this last one will just be premium benefits. So again, I'm just making this stuff up, but let's do unlock our special membership card that returns 5% cash back. And we have export default. Okay, perfect. So now let's go ahead. Let me save this first. Command B. I want to import this now in our home page, our index.js under pages. And I want to put this under the second one. So let's do services. Press enter, it auto imports. If it doesn't, just import it manually. When I save it, we're gonna have a bunch of errors. I like seeing the stock component errors because it just like tells you what you're actually missing. So now go to services elements, and let's do the usual. So this again, we're just gonna simply import styled from style components, and then let's export const services container. I spelled that wrong. Oh yeah, container equal to style.div, 2 backticks. Height is going to be 800 pixels. Display is going to be flex. Flex direction. Column. Justify content. Center. Align items center. Let's do background to be hashtag 010606. And then let's do some media queries here. So media, screen, and max width of 768 pixels. Height is 1100 pixels. Under this, let's do at media, screen, and max width for 80 pixels. And let's do a height of 1300 pixels. And then underneath here, let's do the services wrapper. So I'm gonna say export const services wrapper equal to style.div, and let's do a max width of 1000 pixels. Margin is 0 auto. Let's do display of grid, and let's see, grid template columns. I want it to be 3 columns, so 1FR, 1FR, 1FR. So again, that's this is essentially 1 column, 2, 3, and then let's go back here. Let's see, I did align items, make it center. Let's do grid gap equal to 16 pixels. And then padding 0, then 50 pixels. Now we have at media, screen, and max width equals to 1,000 pixels. Let's do grid template columns equal to 1FR, 1FR. So essentially now it's becoming 2 now. It's only 2 columns. So this is technically 2 columns. 1, 2. If I had 4 services, then it obviously would fit into there, but 3, it does that. And then it becomes 1 on the smaller screen. So then at media screen and max width of 768 pixels, I'm gonna say grid template columns 1FR. And then let's do padding 0, 20 pixels. Boom, okay, so now we got that done. Now let's edit the export cons services card equal to styled dot div. Some backtick action. Let's go and let's do background is hashtag FFF, so it's whites. I'm gonna display flex. Let's do flex direction. What is this? Flex starts. Okay, there, and then let's do align items center. Let me scroll this up. Let's do border radius to be 10 pixels. Let's do max height is 340 pixels. Padding is 30 pixels. Let's do box shadow to be 0, 1 pixel, 3 pixel, RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.2. And then let's do transition to be all 0.2s ease in out. And then I want to add a hover effect. So I'm gonna do and hold on, let me get rid of this. And colon hover. Curly brace transform scale of scale of 1.02. Let's do transition. Transition is equal to all 0.2s ease in out, and then cursor pointer. And now let's do export cons services icon equal to style.h1 and go in between this. Actually, my bad, this should be a image. So this should be img, then the backtick. Okay, why is it doing that? All right, so we got the backticks, and then let's do height of 160 pixels. Let's do a width of 160 pixels, and then margin bottom to be 10 pixels. And then let's do export cons services h1 equal to style.h1 backtick, and then they're gonna do font size of 2.5 rem. Let's do color hashtag FFF, and then margin dash bottom to be 64 pixels. And then at media screen and max width 480 pixels. Font size is 2 rem. And then here export cons services h2 is equal to style.h2 with the backticks. And then let's just do font size 1 rem, and then margin dash bottom to be 10 pixels. And then last but not least, let's export cons services p is equal to style.p backtick, and then I'm just call this font size of 1 rem and text align to be center. So let's save this here, Command B, go back to the service index.js page, and if you know by now, what we got to do is we got to import all this. So let's do import curly brace. Let's do services. What we got? Container. services h1, services wrapper, services card, services icon, services h2, and then services p tag from quotes dot slash services elements. Let's save that now. And then now this is a cool little trick. You don't have to do this, but this is just a way. Basically now we can do import, and I named this one icon 1. You could name this literally like whatever you want to, right? But say this from, and where is it from? It's from our images folder, so it's going to be dot dot slash images slash svg1. And then for icon 2 and 3, so I just again alt shift down or command or option shift down on Mac, change this one to icon 2, icon 3, and I think I have 3 and 5, so whatever your SVGs or however you have, how many you have, you just change it to whatever. And now let us check out what we just created. So let me go down here, and looks like it is not in the correct order. So let's check and let's make sure everything is making sense, because that is not, it looks like it displayed flexed, but it didn't put them in the column. So let me check. So right now we have our services wrapper, and then the card, then the icon h2 p tag, and then underneath the card. So it looks like it's a CSS thing. So let's go to service elements page, and let me check. I believe this should be the card. I think it's in the card section that we messed something up. Let me check. Let's start with the card, and then from there we'll go up. Services cards. We got the background, display flex, flex direction. Ooh, right here. This one should be column, and then underneath justify content should be start or flex start. Now when I save it, boom, there we go. Okay, cleaner, much better. And now let's take a look what we have just created. All right, so now we got a services section, and let's just test it out. We got about, discover, services, and sign up. So look at that, it's pretty cool. And then when we click on this route, nothing is happening there either. So let's see, what else can we add for now? What I think I'm gonna do first is let's go ahead and let me check and see which one makes the most sense. We're pretty much done with the content of the page. The only thing missing is essentially the sign in. So let's finish the let's create the sign in page really quick, just to show you like a little filler, and then we can add the component stuff later. But right now let's add that in. So let me command B. Let's go to our pages and right click new file and just call this one, let's see, sign in.js. And then here I'm just do RAFCE, and let's just change this to sign in page. And then here let's just put an H1 sign in page. So now let me check, make sure the let's see, this should go. It's not going anywhere yet. Oh yeah, one thing too is our routes. So here's a cool thing. So now let me close these out. Let's go to our app.js, command B. So now what we need to do is utilize React Router. So we're gonna wrap these with a switch statement, and then we're gonna pass in the actual routes now. So let's get rid of this home component here, and then I'm just gonna simply do route path equals to slash component is going to be the home, which we have imported, and then I want to have exact, just so that it knows this is the only one. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the alt shift down arrow again, or alt option shift down, change this one to sign in. Component is going to be sign in page, where we just added, and then we just need to import these. So let's do import home from /pages, and then let's import sign in page from dot slash pages slash sign in. And then also we need to actually add in the switch and then the routes. So when I save this, if we did everything, let's see, import home from dot slash pages. Home has already been declared. Where did I declare this? Oh, it showed twice. Only need it once. And let's save it. Okay, perfect. So now we go back. All right, so here's our main section here. And then we just implemented React Router. So instead of us having to like just scroll on the same static page, we can now go to a completely different link, which essentially is this page here. Now, here's the thing. If I designed it to where the sign-in page is technically like its own thing. If you didn't want that, you could just keep the like navbar and everything in the actual main app.js file. So technically you could just pass in like, let's do let me just import that for right now. And let me see if I can open this, and you can notice that the navbar is here. But now since there's there's font and stuff inside the sign-in page is ruining this design. So like I already get rid of this and just save it. You can't see it because it has the margin of -80. But ideally, this is where you would add your actual design in here. So let me actually take that off so you can see it. So just do it like this. So now it looks like this. So again, you can utilize this nav bar on your different routes for the entire website, and also your footer too, which I forgot, that's the one thing we do need to create still too. But pretty much this is the new route section now here. So I can go back to the home page and then add that in. But I did it like this so it's separate. So again, this is just the way I designed it. In case you need it for different use, obviously you'd have to do it like that. But let's just get rid of this nav bar here. And then just get rid of here. So again, what we've done so far is just we have this home section here, and then I have the sign in here. So what I want to do now is let's finish this off with the footer, and then that should complete the entire design section part, minus the sign in page. The other thing is the sign in page I'll leave later at the end, but for now let's just do the footer now. So what we need to do is, let me get rid of all this. Let's see, did I create a footer yet? No, let's go components, right? So do new folder. Let's call this footer. And then in here, simply just gonna do new file. I'm gonna call this index.js. And then in here, let's do new file again. And let's just call this footer elements.js. And then index.js, do RAFCE, press tab, erase this, just call this footer. And you guys know the drill. We pretty much just need to go in and just rinse and repeat what we've been doing this whole entire time. So I'm gonna go ahead and let me just erase this. And again, this is just the way I named them. You can change them if you want to. Let's just call this footer container. And then in here, I'm gonna have footer, okay, what's happening? I wanna have the footer wrap. And then let's do here, I'm calling this one, let's see, footer links container. So essentially this is the actual link you would have to click on. And then let's do footer links wrapper. And this is essentially the wrap around it. So let's do footer links wrapper. And then around this is where we put our actual footer items now. So like about us, contact, services, etc. So let's just call this one, let's see, footer link items, with just link items, not S. So footer link items. And then let's call this one footer link title. And I just named it like this so it's easier for you to see exactly what I'm writing. Again, you could shorten this, put like just like footer heading or footer H1 or whatever. But again, this just makes it easier for you to read it from my perspective. And then let's do footer link. And this is essentially a link, like think of it as like a route. Now, if you're ever going to link off of
your website, you would use an A tag. But since I'm using React Router for these, since they're going to be on the same like site, I'll just put a 2 equals to, let's just say, let's do sign in. And then let's just put this about us. So this is just a filtered path just to show you like how to work it. And then we basically can just copy and paste this. So I'm gonna do the Alt or Option Shift down arrow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then pretty much let's change these up. So let's do how it works. Let's see, under here, let's do testimonials. Here, let's do careers. And then let's do investors. And then last but not least, terms of service. I should put, yeah, service. Service. Okay. So let me save this here really quick. And then let's drag this out a bit. So we're pretty much good with the footer part. Now all we need to do is just straight up copy these. So like highlight the here's the footer link titles, and then you want to, let's see, actually, wait, what happened? All right, yeah, that's my bad. This, did I do this wrong? Yeah, so these are footer links, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, my bad. So I messed this up. So erase the bottom closing footer link title, or Command Exit, and bring it up here. It should be above. So the only thing wrapping the footer link right here should just be the footer link items, not footer title. This should have been right here, about us. That was my bad. So about us here, and then we can erase this link, this footer link here. All right, so here we go. Okay, so you need to pause the screen, just pause really quick. So let's go again. We have footer container, and then the footer wrap, and then the footer links, and then the footer links wrapper. So again, this is wrapping everything, and then the footer links item is wrapping the footer links inside, and then we have the footer link title, then the footer links in here. So pretty much now if I save this, nothing's gonna happen, but let me just go over what we just created. So basically, about us is right here, footer link title. Everything below this is the footer link, and then this is getting wrapped by footer link items, and then the footer link wrapper is going to be wrapping essentially around that too. So now let's go and technically you can't see it yet, but what I'm going to do is click on to, let's see, here's the thing. So I'm going to do 2 columns. So when I go back, this footer link wrapper right here is wrapping around both of these, so that I can do essentially like a double column when I do it on mobile. So right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on our footer link items and highlight everything inside of that, go right under it, and then just paste it. And so now we have this footer links wrapper with 2 essentially blocks of footer links inside here. And then what we can do again after that is we can take this footer links wrapper now with both of our footer link boxes, so one here and then go here. So we got the entire footer links wrapper, and then we can go underneath this and then just paste it in. So now you can see we have essentially 2, think of this like 2 columns. So now if I were to save this, and then let's go to let's bring this back. Let's Command B. Let's see. Let's go to, where's it at? Pages, index.js. And I want the, where is it at? I want the footer to be underneath everything. So I'm just gonna say footer, press enter. Looks like it doesn't, oh yeah, import it up here at the top. So make sure if it imports automatically, you're fine, but if not, then fix it. And then let's go back to our footer. Go to footer elements this time, and then technically we can just start styling this. So what I'm going to do is do import styled from styled components,
And then also I need to import, let's see, import a link from React router DOM. Now I don't have to change the alias name because it's only one link. If I was using React scroll with this, then you would have to do like I did earlier in the video, but here we should be pretty much good. And now let's start writing this out. So export const footer container equal to style dot footer, the backticks, and let's just make the background color, not clip, colors equal to hashtag 101522, and then let's do export const footer wrap equal to style.div with the backticks. Let's do padding. Let's do 48 pixels by 24 pixels. Display is flex. Flex direction is column. Justify content is center. Align items is center. Max width is 1100 pixels. And then margin is 0 auto. So then underneath here we have export const footer links container equal to style.div, the backticks. Display is flex. Justify content is center. And then at media screen and max width is 820 pixels. And then I'm going to say padding dash top 32 pixels. And then here export const footer links wrapper equal to style.div. And let's do a display is flex. And then at media screen and max width is 820 pixels. And then here let's do flex direction of column. So now underneath there, let's see what else we got. Footer, we got footer link wrapper, footer link items. Okay, so export const footer link items. Now make sure if you're following along, you don't miss the S or add it if it's not there. So this one is footer link, so there's no S. So make sure if you have an error, check both spelling, everything. And let's do style.div with the backticks. And let's do display flex, flex direction column. Align items is flex start. Let's do margin of 16 pixels. Let's do text align is left. Width will be 160 pixels, and then box sizing border dash box, and then the color will be hashtag FFF. And then under here, let's do at media screen and max width 420 pixels, and then let's do a margin of 0. Padding is 10 pixels, and then the width is 100%. And then let's see, what do we have under here? What else we got? What did I just do? Footer link items. So let's do footer link title now. So export const footer link title equal to style.h1. So the backticks here. And then font size is 14 pixels. And margin bottom is 16 pixels. And then let's do export const. Let me scroll this up. Footer link equal to style. Now this is going to be the link React router. So I'm going to have the backticks here. And then I'm simply just going to say color hashtag FFF. Text decoration to be none. Let's do margin dash bottom to be 0.5 rem. And then font size is going to be 14 pixels. So now let's see, under this we'll do a hover, so in colon hover, color will be hashtag 01 BF71, and then transition is gonna be 0.3 S ease out. And then underneath this, what do we have? Footer link. Actually, I think we're good for now. So let me save this. Let's go back to index.js of footer. And let's go, and let's see, scroll to the top. And let's import curly brace, footer container, footer wrap, footer links container. So let's just do here links container, footer, what else we got? Links wrapper, footer, what is this? Link items, and then footer link title. Where's this one at? Footer link title, and then footer link from dot slash for elements. Save this here, and everything went well. Boom. Okay, we got the footer, like 90% of it done. And notice how everything is the exact same, but we got the hover effect here. So what I'm gonna do to save us some time is I'm just gonna let me bring this over. What I'm gonna do is just copy in my footer so that the text, so that you guys don't have to sit there and watch me do this. So pretty much I'm just gonna change up the, let's see, put on this container. Give me a second so I can collect this. So I'm just gonna go to my footer links and just copy this in. I'll save it. Now, this is, you guys can basically just change your titles and yours to fit mine, so you can pause it here and see it. But for like here, Instagram social media, ideally you'd want it to link off of, so I technically actually change this one to like something else, like business. So I could say like business, and then I'd link something back to our actual website. But the thing is, I'm actually creating a social media icons here, so technically you can see it. But this one, ideally you would change this to something non-social media, or technically non-linking off to your like linking away. If this stuff should link inside of your site. So here these are linking away. But if you did want to have the design like this, then you would just have to change these links to non link tag. You just make a normal A tag, like literal A tag. And then let's go and let's add in the let's see, what is the section I named this? Let's call this one social media. So let's go under, let's see, we're at footer links wrapper, footer links container, press enter. So technically now we're under here, and I'm just gonna call this one social media. Let's just do social media, and then in here let's just call this social media wrap. And then I'm gonna call this one social logo, and this is going to equal to /, and then I'm gonna essentially have a toggle function later, but not right now. But I'm just gonna call this dollar right here, and then under the social logo, but we're still within here. Let's see. So under social logo, I'm gonna have website rights. So website rights here. DOLLA, and then I think it was I can't remember the exact, yeah, that's not the exact one. I think it was command, which one? Let me look this up really quick. Alright, I can't find, I've forgotten the shortcut, and there's nothing right now showing up on the internet. So if you want to, you can just copy this off of like Wikipedia or some like site, or you can just leave it here. But basically, I think it was like option or something. I can't remember the exact thing. If you know it, comment below. If I find it out, I'll just leave it in the like description or something. But basically, that's just a copyright symbol, and then 2020. Now the thing technically is, you can use this date. So let me show you this really quick, because I don't want to. Technically, if you don't want to have to sit there and update your date like every year, and you're just like, how can I make it automatic? Let me show you how to set this up. Pretty much the way you do it is you just do the curly brace and then say new date parenthesis dot get full year parenthesis and then curly brace. And that's essentially how you do it. And then let me say finishes off all rights reserved. And that's our website right logo. And then after that, let me just add in our social icons. So here, let's just add in social icons. And then let's do social icon link. And this is, again, this is now the A tag. So instead of doing 2, you say hrefs equal to slash. I want target equals to underscore blank because I want it to open up in a new tab. ARIA label, I just put Facebook, and then I'll close it out. And then inside of this, I'll pass in the actual icon. So FA Facebook. And then underneath this social icon, so technically I can just copy and paste these, so I can just straight up go like highlight the social icons, and we're in the social icons wrapper, but social icon link, my bad. Paste it there, paste it there, and then let's see, I have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and then just put like LinkedIn here. So now we can just change these up. So let's just do what is this one? Instagram. Change this one to CFA Instagram here, and this one will just be YouTube. So let's just do YouTube and change this one here. So FA YouTube, and let's do Twitter right here. So the cool little hack is we can actually do this in a Command D, and it's going to change these four as both. But I wanted to change. Looks like it's not clicking on the actual icon ones. Let's just put YouTube here. YouTube is here. And then last but not least, we got, actually, did I put YouTube twice? Oh man, this should be Twitter, my bad. Twitter, and then LinkedIn. So let's just call this LinkedIn. Let me just do it lowercase. And then this one has to be LinkedIn with lowercase, linked in like that. And see that we should be pretty much set to go. Now here's the thing. So if you want your link to actually work, and like when you paste, if you just paste in like let's say you have a Twitter, for instance, you just paste it in, it's not going to open up. So you have to do is to do / www.twitter.com/ your username. So mine was Brian Design Z, because I think Brian Design was taken. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do it like this. Then I'll hit save, and then now we have to do is pretty much export these from these stock components. So then we'll go to footer elements, and then we pretty much just rinse and repeat what we've been doing this whole time. So now let's just go and say export const social media equal to style.section double backticks, and then let's just call this one max width of 1000 pixels, and then I want the width to be 100%, and then underneath here export const social media wrap equal to style.div with the backticks display flex justify content is space between. Let's do a line items to be center. Max width is 1100 pixels. Let's do margin of 40 pixels auto 0 auto. And then at media screen and max width of a 20 pixels. And then I just set the flex direction to column. And then let's do export const social logo equal to styled link. And this, I think this was my, yeah, it should be my router. Color will be hashtag FFF. Let's do justify, where's it at? Self, I want it to be start.
Let's do cursor pointer, text decoration none. Scroll this up. Font size is gonna be 1.5 rem. Display will be flex. Align items will be center, and then margin dash bottom is 16 pixels. And then let's do font weight of bold. So we got that there. And then let's do, we have 3 little ones left. So export const website rights equals to style.small with the backticks. And then let's just do color hashtag FFF. Margin dash bottom is 16 pixels. And then here, let's do export const social icons equal to style.div with the backticks. Display is flex. Justify content is space between. And then let's do a line items center. And then the width is 240 pixels. And then here, let's do export const social icon link equal to style.atag, because again, this is the ones that are linking off. Color will be hashtag FFF, and then font size is 24 pixels. We'll save this here. And then we need to do, before we go back there, make sure we have the link imported from React Router DOM. And then let's go back to index.js. And then we pretty much just rinse and repeat what we've been doing this whole time. It's basically import curly brace footer container footer wrap. Let's see, footer links container footer. What else we got? Let's see, footer links wrapper, footer link items, footer link title, footer link, let's do social media wrap, social logo, website rights. Let's do social icons, social icon link, and from quotes / footer elements, and then we'll save it. And let us see, footer container has been declared. Oh, did I not? Wow. I completely forgot we did the first section. So let me do this. I don't know why I did that. Basically, I did it twice. So my bad. Didn't even see that. I'm tripping right now. But basically, yeah, we just import that again. Okay, so now what we need to do is we have React icons. So we have to import these. And let's just do import curly brace FA Facebook. That's why I was wondering. I was like, why is there so many things I have to add? Okay, now FA Facebook, FA Instagram, FA YouTube, FA Twitter, and then FA LinkedIn from React-icon/FA. Save it, and boom, perfect. So now you can see we got our footer. Now, ideally, if this was like a massive web site, you'd have all these links, but literally, since it's static, this is just a design showing you how to create like typical footers you've seen. But ideally, if you don't have this many pages, like you don't need them. But that's just showing you in case you need that. And for the most part, we're pretty much set with the I guess you could say that UI part. So now what we need to do is change it to where they pretty much do the smooth scroll right now, because that's like the main thing I wanted to add for this, is the smooth scroll isn't working. So what do we need to do? Okay, so let's do Command B, and let me exit off here. And the first thing is I need to go to my Navbar, because that is what I want to implement. And then also, let me see if you can see. Yeah, so right now the actual background. So let's go to our Navbar really quick. Here, I'm going to go to Navbar elements, because I believe I didn't set the background like I did earlier. So here,
Let's change this background. And let's do $ curly brace, parenthesis curly brace, and say scroll nav. That's equal to arrow function scroll nav. And then if it's true, I want to return hashtag. I forgot my exact thing. I'm just gonna put dark for now, black pretty much. Quotes else transparent. So right now it's false because I don't have scroll nav implemented, but that was, I want to make sure I go back and fix that before I edit this. So right now let's do the let's implement the nav scrolling. So when I scroll, it changes color, and then after that what we can do is add in the what's it called, the actual smooth scroll effect where it hovers. So let's go ahead and start adding in the scroll nav.
All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is import use state at the top. So let me just add a little comma, say use state. And then under here, I'm simply just gonna add in the state. So I have scroll nav and then set scroll nav. And my keyboard is bugged now. And then it's gonna be use state to set the value to false. And if you weren't following earlier, this is my state scroll nav. That's what I named it, which is why I put it here. And essentially, I'm just gonna write a function, a basic if-else statement stating when I'm past a particular point, I want it to trigger. So I'm gonna call this function const, and then say change nav. And then I'm gonna set that equal to an arrow function. And then it's curly braces here. And then basically here's where I'm gonna save my actual code. So I'm gonna say if, and then this is how you target the actual window pixels. So I'm gonna say window dot scroll y. If it is greater than or equal to 80 pixels, then I'm going to update the state with my function called set scroll nav. And the function is going to change the value to true. And then if it's not, else is just gonna set the scroll nav to false. And then what I want to do to make sure that this thing doesn't go crazy is I'm gonna have a use effect. So use effect, so only render right here, and then I'm gonna say window that add event listener. I'm looking for a scroll event, and then I'm just gonna pass in the function change nav. And then after that, I'm just gonna pass in the brackets right there. And then also we need to actually import use state up here as well. So use effect, my bad. And then all we need to do is pass into our nav right here. I'm just gonna say scroll nav equals to curly brace scroll nav. So let me save this, and yeah, everything should be good now. And then when I scroll, you can see that it works. So you see how now we have a black nav bar now. And just to make sure, you know, we're not going crazy, let's change this to red, and that way we can actually see what's going on. So perfect. So now we scroll to the top, right when it passes 80, boom, it gets triggered. So now we have that implemented. And then one little trick too, I want to see if this is one thing I added. It's not really necessary, but if you were to use a bunch of icons, I want to actually have this. And essentially it's just, we're going to import at the top icon context from react-icons/lib. And essentially I'm just going to wrap my entire nav bar with this so that I can basically pass down any styling value into any icons inside of here. So I'm just gonna say icon context dot provider. Like if you guys seen context API, it's fairly similar. And then we just do value equals to, I'm gonna say color is white. So this way it should be a string. So hashtag FFF. And then let me just close this out. And then let me copy this closing tag of the icon text provider, paste it right at the very bottom, and I'll just save it there. And that way you don't have to actually put a color for the icons. Like if I want to change this one to red, it's probably, yeah, see now you can see that it's turned red. And then this is sidebar, so it's a different color. But ideally I just have that there just in case you guys need to utilize that for your site. So now majority of the functionality so far is there. Now the only thing missing is the sign-in page design, which that one's not too big a deal because that's just like a display I made. But the main one is this actual scroll with the hover action. So like it's like 95% done. So pretty much right now everything is working. But how do you actually get it to display the way we did? So what I'm gonna do is, this one's fairly easy. So let me actually pull up the React Scroll doc so you can see like why I'm doing what I'm doing. All right, so here is React Scroll, and I want to show you, there's a lot of different ones you can use, and if you read this you might get confused, but mainly if you go here, let me see, right here, these essentially you can see like the path to, the SPI, smooth, offset, duration, delay, onset active, etc. There's a bunch of different ones you can utilize, and you can feel free to look into this more if you want to. But pretty much what we do is we just need to pretty much go and, for instance, let's see, did I have my, oh yeah, one thing I forgot to add, but I'll add that after. But pretty much I think if I click here, yeah, the actual home icon's not doing what it's not bringing you back to the top. Like in this, the finished version, I click it, it does it. So one thing we need to do before we add this is add the, on the nav logo, add an on click to toggle home. And then let's save that. And then let's see if I passed in, yeah, so this is one, this is like a really easy scroll to top effect. So let's just start off with this one. So pretty much we're just gonna create a function called const toggle home. So that equal to an arrow function, and then basically I'm just gonna pass in scroll to top, and then just have it parentheses, so calling it there. And then what we need to do, go to the, see, because if I were to save this right now, it's gonna say unexpected use of scroll. And if I go to the React Scroll docs and I do scroll to top, it's actually a function in here too. So you can do scroll to top and also scroll to bottom if you want that too. But I mean, I don't really need that one for this design. But basically you just do the same thing, just change that to bottom. But in order to utilize this, you need to import this at the top. So I'm gonna say import curly brace animate scroll as scroll. That's just what I'm calling it. And then from React Scroll. And then when we save this, we can go back. And then all I have to do now when I click it, it actually goes back to the top and it scrolls according to your actual site design. So that's pretty much, that was that easy, and that's what the scroll effect. So let's show, let me see if I can, yeah, so right now the rest, they're not scrolling yet. We're gonna implement that in just a second, but this one is already working perfect, and that's with React Scroll. If you didn't do React Scroll, it wouldn't do the like nice smooth scroll effect like that. So now let's go to the nav links. So right here, and then let's, all right, so go to your nav links like this, go inside of the opening, but go to the, yeah, inside there, let's go under the two. I'm gonna say smooth equals to true, duration equals to curly brace. I'm gonna set it to 500. That's just the speed that it goes up. You can change it, play around with this. You have to add this one. This one's really important, and it's called SPI. And essentially this tells you if which one you're essentially clicking on. Because if you don't add this, it's still gonna work the smooth transition, but like if you want an active class with the highlights of the green border I added, based off what section you're on, it's not gonna work without this. So I'm gonna set it to true. Exact, I'll set that equal to string of true, and then offset. Again, this is the this is where I put -80, because this our navbar, again, we put the -80 margin, so I need to match the actual positioning of the navbar's height so that I can actually, it knows exactly where to do the transition. So if everything works for the about section, let's test it out. Click it and it scrolls and it highlights. Now let me show you on the actual docs. Let's see where they put it. They do active class like actually coded in like this, right? So ideally, if you didn't use stock components, what you could just do is do active class equals to active, and then you can go to your CSS file, and then literally you would just create a .active class and change like the color or whatever you wanted to add. But since I have, let me go back on the Navbar elements. If I scroll down to active, what this automatically does is it changes it to active when you're scrolling all by default, and it's looking for this class, this active class that we just imported with stock components. So that's just a cool little trick. This is equivalent to just doing .active, same thing, but since I have it in the stock components, it automatically knows without me having to manually hard code it there. So that's just a cool little trick for the React scroll. So now you can see when we go back, it's active. When I go discover these, they're not, because it's only added onto the about. So, and then also the offset. So like, it's gonna be hard to see here, but right here is where it hits. So actually, let me do it on the white background because you can't see what's going on. So technically what we can do is we can just copy and paste these values. So I'm leaving these up just so that you can play around with them, but I'm just gonna copy and paste these onto the remaining links. So we have this one here. Under the 2 for the services, I'll post this here. And then for this sign up, I'll post this one here. So we'll save this now. And now let's try and test everything, make sure everything's working. So boom, bam, there we go. All right, so now notice, all right, this is gonna be much easier to see the difference. So right when it hits, like see how this is technically the navbar's height? The minute it hits, it changes. Like right on the tip of the top of this container, this div, it changes. And if I were to take off this offset and just set it to like 0, what's gonna end up happening is it's gonna need to go 80 pixels more. So now technically here's the tip of the div, right, the container. And then now we're scrolling more until it hits past 80, which is the size of the navbar, then it hits. And see how that's a problem, because if you have like content that's not as wide as mine, it's gonna get like this close before it hits it. And then depending on your screen size, it's gonna be all messed up. So that's the main reason I put offset. Again, depending on the way you design your site, that might not be necessary, but that's just telling you why I did it, because I used the margin -80 pixels on my navbar to do for that. So if your navbar is perfectly fine, you didn't do any margin -80 or anything, then you don't have to worry. You can just you can even leave that out. But that's pretty much for the smooth scroll effect. So let's just make sure everything's working out really quick. So home's up here, about, discover, services, and sign up. And then we go back down. Let's click on this one. So now this one, the bottom footer, I want to add it to that one too. So let's do, let's switch over to our footer really quick. And let me just copy this function. So I'm just gonna copy this toggle home function, Command B, go to footer, index.js, and then I'm just gonna press enter, add the function there, and then let's just simply add this to the logo. So let me see, where is the logo I put? Down here. Simply I'm just gonna say on click equals to toggle home. Then I'm gonna save it, and then also we need to import at the top, import curly brace animation. I can't remember what exactly. Let me make sure before I misspell anything. Animate scroll, my bad. So it should be import animate scroll as scroll from React scroll. And then let's test this out. We just scroll back up to the top. Boom. Okay, so majority, everything looks like it's working out. And then down again, this works out here. So now the last thing is just simply the sign up page. Now, since this isn't really anything mind-blowing in React, it's just like the UI, I'm just going to show you how I set it up, but I'm just going to basically paste in the style so we don't have to sit here and watch me for like 30 minutes doing the same thing over and over. And this is just mainly like a filler page just to show you like what you could do. But pretty much here's the SRC components Let's create a new folder. I'm going to call this one sign in. Right click, new file. Let's do index.js, and then new file again, and let's just do sign in elements.js. So now I'm just going to paste in my styles for the sign in elements. So I'm just going to go in here and paste these so I can save some time. And then let me just go through these with you, show you what I did. So pretty much import a style from style components, and then just import a link from React Router DOM. And then I created a container with these specific styles right here. And then you guys can pause the screen if you wanted to follow this, or you can just simply just sit back and relax and watch it. And then form wrapping the form. And then I have the icon that actually links us back to the actual home screen. Then we got the form contents. And then the regular form, I've named this form H1, the form label, form input, and then the form button, and then basically the text. So if you guys wanted to, you can pause the screen at each section. Like you can pause it here, and then I'll scroll up again. You can pause it there to check and make sure that you actually, if you're copying this, you can. But if you guys did get the source code, then you can also just straight up use that too. And then simply in the index.js, let's command, let me just make sure I'm in the right page. This one is super simple, so I'm just going to type it out with you. RAFCE. And then just say sign in. And then basically this is just going to be here. And they'll just have the container. I don't know why it's doing that. We'll just have the container here. I'll have my form wrap here. I'll have the icon 2 is equal to the slash just to bring me back home with the dollar right there. And then we'll have the form content. And then we'll have the form. And again, this is just filler design again. I didn't go through every single thing on the actual form. But if you actually did use a form, you most likely have your own backend and then much more complicated code. So that's something you'd have to add. And let's just say sign into our account. And you know what? Let me actually just paste this in because I don't really think it's really nothing. It's just a design. So here's the lines right there. And the only thing is, like for React, you have to change it to camel case here. And then let me just add this sign up elements here at the top. Because yeah, this is mainly just like styling, so this isn't really too important. But now, once we do have our actual export sign in, make sure it's right there. Okay. Yeah, so here, if you guys want to pause the screen, you can see this code right here. It's just inputs and form labels, nothing fancy here. And then same up there, just import everything. So this one's very simple. And then all we need to do is basically add this to our sign in, where is it at? Sign in page. So now I'm just gonna get rid of this, add in the sign in component. And let me see if I can import it. Doesn't look like it's auto importing. So let me get rid of these divs. Here I'm just gonna say import sign in from /components/sign in. And then when I save this, it's gonna say it does not match corresponding name on disk, sign in. So let's see if I made spelling anything wrong. So let me try to do this. Let me just try to stop it and restart and see if that fixes it. If it doesn't, then I must have some sort of misspelling somewhere. Okay, yeah, so that was the issue. I just had to restart it. So if you guys did have that issue, just simply Control-C in your terminal and then just yarn start, npm start again. And then pretty much you can see here we go back. So now there's one last thing, like when I go to the sign in, depending on the screen I'm on, it sometimes will be, it won't go to the top. So what I want to make sure is I'm going to create this new file, components called new file, and just simply say scroll to top.js. And you wouldn't notice this right now because my screen's showing it clean, but if you were to navigate to a new page and it's not gonna go to the top. So with React Router, you can do this. You can say import use effect from React, and then also you can do import use location from react-router-dom, and then simply you can just say export default, and this is straight from the docs too, by the way, on React Router. Export default function, scroll to top with the parentheses, and then we're going to say const curly brace path name is equal to use location with the parentheses here, and then I'm just going to say use effects, and then pass in the arrow function, and then window dot scroll to parentheses 0, 0, and then after this first curly brace put a comma, array brackets, put path name, and then you're pretty much good there. And then actually after the parenthesis I'm just going to return null. Then we'll save here, and I can't, it's hard to show you like here. Let me see if I can do it. Let me try to scroll, maybe that. Yeah, so it's hard to tell. You can't tell it right now because the screen's small, but now you just go into the sign in, and then all you need to do, and this is, again, this doesn't matter if you're copying my page and making your own, you would just pass in scroll to top. So let me control here, I imported it and save it. So technically it's not really showing on this screen, it's kind of smaller, but if you were making your own page and you notice when you change to a new route it doesn't go to the top, you would do this, scroll to top, and then you're pretty much will be at the exact top of the page. And then now when we scroll back here, now we can check out the site. So now we have this, and oh yeah, that's the one thing I forgot to add it on the button. So let me make sure, let's go back and let's go to the let's go to the navbar, index.js. Let's copy this values right here on the nav links, go to the hero section, and then scroll, and then just simply go to the button. Where is this at? Right here. Press enter, paste that in, save it, and let's scroll it back out. Then click it, and now it scrolls. And then I think these are the only ones we have to add to. Let's go back now to the info section, index.js. Let's check out our button. We have majority, it looks like it's working, but it's saying to home. So why isn't this one going then? Let's see, did I miss anything? Let me double check to make sure I didn't mistype something. Ah, I know why. It's because I didn't set what's it called? I didn't set anything for the actual thing. So if I say to home, technically home doesn't exist. Yeah, so let me check. My main one, I don't think I had it on here. Let me make sure. Yeah, so it looks like it's going back to the top, which is strange. Why isn't this one working? Let me go back. Maybe I think I know why. Let me change this back to home. Let me go back. It's probably because I didn't add on the hero section index.js. I believe I put ID equals home. So ID equals to home. And then let's try it out now. Awesome, perfect. Okay, so that is much cleaner. So now let's just go over what we just created. We got the about, hover, scroll, smooth scroll, services here, sign up, make sure our hovers, yeah, got the hover sizing here. And also we can scroll, the buttons, they all work here. They go back. Then this one does it too, and then also this one, and then last but not least we got the icons, they're scrolling, and then this one too, and then we hit the sign in, nothing required, so just add back, and let me go back here, and this ends the tutorial for today. So if you did enjoy this video, feel free to share this with your friend. Make sure you go down below, subscribe to the channel for more content. Also give this video a thumbs up, comment down below any other things you'd like to see me add in this video, any suggestions to add and refactor the code to make some more improvements. And aside from that, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.